Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hmm.
My wife's getting jealous. It's her birthday and she's getting jealous and stuff.
I'm not being
So
jealous at all.
it's her
Not
birthday,
being.
y'all. So I want to give a very, very special happy. All right, I get it. I get it. Everybody loves Boom. Everybody loves Boom. We have continued to see that year in and year out. You know, this is one thing that's for certain. Yep. Wow.
I appreciate the love. Thank you so much.
I'm glad. Y'all was starting up too much. Not too much, as these younger kids say. All right, so we're getting into the show today. What would you like to bring into this show today?
As usual, just peace and understanding.
Peace and understanding. First of all, I want to thank the Most High for even letting me utter these words that I'm about to speak to y'all today with efficiency. Gonna make this butter knife sharp today.
Okay, let's do
All
it.
right, let's get it.
I had a long week and make good money. Because I'm gonna tell you something, when you could look across at your mate and know they're with you, not because they need you, they're with you because they want you, then you have a healthy relationship. It is so toxic to be with somebody that don't have anything, so therefore they know they need you, so therefore guess what? You're basically like their daddy. You man are simping with your children, basically. Your girlfriend is your child. You gotta buy her food, here go phone call.
Capital E. E. What
Well,
do you think about that, Boom?
a lot of guys, they be like, call me daddy. Call me daddy.
Daddy. Nasty.
I don't know. I mean, I get it from two different standpoints. I understand. And then, of course, there's still a balance of things, but I guess it's whatever you have communicated in your arrangements. What about for you?
Listen. A lot of people pride themselves on this type of relationship, you know. But I will say I agree with the young man over there. It feels good to know that, we can have a conversation on equal footing and to understand that you don't really need me. You know what I'm saying? Or I don't really need you. It's vice versa. It doesn't just have to be the woman where, you know, I shouldn't feel like you're with me because of what I have. You know, a lot of times once you're into a relationship and the relationship is just too good to be true, you're like, wait, hold on. Why do you want to be with me? Out of all these people,
Yeah.
you want to be with me this bad, but I displayed the same character to so many people. Why are you the only one that actually sees this character? I guess they say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So I guess
Yeah.
it works that
Well,
way too.
and then too, in a lot of situations, for a person, if a person wants to be with you, they're gonna see past your flaws and your faults because they want to be with you.
Say that again. Say that again.
They're gonna see past your flaws and your faults.
Okay.
Yeah, and
That's a bar.
I
Bar.
mean, and
I
that's
know
natural.
that.
It to me, it's natural to want. If you want a person, you're going to look beyond what they say, the red flags. That's what they call some of them. And sometimes it could be a gift and a curse to do so.
You got any examples that you'd like to share? Just so you know.
I don't have, well, just dating a guy, or this guy, let's just say a guy shows interest in you, right? Because he wants you,
Not
wants
in
to
me.
meet you.
What do you mean you? Oh, okay. Go ahead, tell your story. Sorry. But you're talking
But
to me
okay,
directly.
a guy shows interest in a young woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's cool because he's doing what guys do, hunt. So he's cool with her brushing him off. And then she finally gives him a chance, right? And then that guy turns around and he's almost like her worst nightmare. And that's what I mean by gift and a curse. Because while you're dating them, you a lot of times you're meeting the representative.
The representative.
Yeah. So I've always, I looked at little, small, minute things
Mhm.
uh, that I knew, like for me, I needed somebody that had that strength, like being on time. I
Oh,
literally just had this conversation with my sister earlier. Being
being
on time, like me,
awful. Awful.
I struggle. Like I can get prepared 3 hours in advance, and still I'm like, I
And
got
sleep
time.
through an alarm clock like that thing is not going off.
So yeah.
Mm,
So, but you were on time for everything. So, just looking for the green flags, but of course, being aware of the red flags too. Like you don't ignore neither one, but don't stay so focused on the green flags that you miss the red flags.
mm. And sometimes those red flags aren't just red flags. They're like um TNT bombs and Looney Tunes. Like they literally got the the word in danger on it, and y'all still picking it up and trying to
But
drink
but
it like
but
a
then
Starbucks.
sometimes, honestly, a lot of times though, I'm not even gonna say just guys, but people they're trying to date people and because they just want to have that person, on their team.
Oh, that
They
status.
Yeah, they faking it,
That
faking and
status.
flogging, faking and flogging instead of
That's
just being yourself. Be yourself so that the right person will be beside you.
you gotta
And
say that. Be yourself, sir, man. Be yourself. So that's all it really takes. Because if you can't love yourself to love yourself, who else is gonna love yourself? Who else is
yeah,
gonna love you?
and so you won't waste time. The have the proper process of elimination. Do the
Mm,
proper process of elimination. If you're
mm.
acting like a certain person and then you finally get locked in with another, whoever your mate that you're wanting, not what you need, but what you want, like
So it's
it
better
could
for
be it could be detrimental.
in a relationship, it's better for them to want you, not need you. Because some people think it's because I need you and then I'll want you later. Will you ever want
Yeah.
somebody that you knew you needed, or did you even really need that person that you thought you wanted?
Personally, for me, I wanted what I needed, if that makes sense.
Mm,
But of course, yeah, you can go for
it
the want.
aligned with your wants.
Yeah, you can go for the want, like the look, the type, you know. Oh, I want him to
Right.
be tall, dark, whatever,
So what do you
beard,
think
no
about
beard,
people
locks, whatever.
that get into a relationship and feel like, they need to be in a relationship other than they want to? They want to waste this energy or spend this energy properly, or they just want to get with somebody for status or for not even malicious actions, but for like, selfishness.
Are you okay, let me make sure I understand the question properly. Are you asking me what if someone gets with someone based on what the other person has or
What the
can
other person can provide to you, instead of, because I know there's many pillars of value, but if you value somebody just based on what they have instead of what's in them,
mm, that
what do you
doesn't
think about those need relationships? Like, you need what that person has.
that's a user.
Ooh, that the best definition that you got for that one? It isn't one bigger than
I
that.
mean, you can be a con man, a manipulator.
What's that show that we watched before on Netflix that we loved, and it was where they was marking people?
Netflix. They were marking.
Yeah, like they go on dates, and then they would, you know, all of a sudden not be who they said they are. It was this one girl, she was supposedly very, very pretty, and she would trick people.
It was the one girl,
It was the one girl, but then she was like with a team, like
different
some of
identity
them.
with
Yeah,
different men.
yeah.
Oh, Imposter.
Imposters, fantastic show. I might say I really like that show.
That was
So
the name of it.
a lot of people are really. So when you say I thought I knew this person my whole life, right? You know, I would rather have somebody show me who they are up front than me find out later. And so, like in that imposter thing, like played the perfect wife, perfect female. And then, once they fall for her, she robs them blind, because they don't see it coming, And that's what it looks like a lot of relationships are about now is being fake, you know what I'm saying? Using somebody for something that you want, whether it's monetary or whether it's a roof over your head or whether it's for a pair of Jordans or whatnot, that is the craziest thing because when you look at it,
but at the same time, people just trying to figure out how to survive. So, like, I don't agree with it, but I'm not gonna say it don't make sense.
Right. And on the flip side, check this out. If you, and a lot of people don't like to look at relationships as a team, but I would say that would have to be one of the strongest teams that you have. And that's just from my perspective. I feel like a relationship should be the building of like the LeBron team that he brings to the Lakers. Like, I'm not a sports fanatic like that, but at the end of the day, it's just like you should be handpicking your team, and your team should start with, if you have a mate, your mate. That should be the person that you can confide in, your confidant, or is that what they have in those mafias, whatever, something like that, So once you ready to build that team, oh wait, hold on, we got something special for you, boom.
Oh, thank you, Alexis.
Clap it up. So I feel like she should be the first person that you can trust. If she only needs you for a certain thing and then you no longer can provide that certain thing, that means that certain someone will not be there, and vice versa. And that is a big, heartbreaking, gut-wrenching feeling when you feel like you put all into somebody and then they turn around and can just walk away with no skin in the game.
Like I say, I'm not gonna say I'm laughing at Alexis. Okay, Lex. Okay. She hates when I call her by her name.
Oh wow. You about to get beat up on a podcast. I want to see
She thinks I'm mad. Look, she thought I was mad at her because I was calling her by her first name.
Oh wow.
Girl, true.
Gotcha. All right. Well, so we're gonna move on to this next video. Here we go.
And proceeds communication.
Yeah.
Like if all you're gonna talk about is what I need to do and what I need to change and how I need to fix this and how I'm already beating myself up. This thing called life is heavy.
Yeah.
Parenting these kids is heavy. Figuring out the bills and all that is heavy. And now you want to talk and you haven't affirmed me in any area. Affirmation precedes communication.
Yeah.
You want to get me to talk? Give me a trophy in some area.
Yeah.
Tell me I'm doing good in some area.
Yeah.
And so I think so many people want to talk, but really what you're wanting to do is tear them down. What is the motive of the conversation? Do you want him to get better? He's not going to get better by tearing him down. Yeah. He's going to get better by affirming the things that you're celebrating. You want him to do better in some areas? Celebrate the things he's doing great in.
Yeah.
And then he'll give you entrance to communication.
Okay.
What do you think about that? What do you think about that?
I wholeheartedly agree.
100% agree with everything.
I do because, and thank you, Diva. Thank you so much. Love you, girl. I agree because I have to get on you about your affirmations all the time. And sometimes even when you could just be talking about a thing, but even in that moment, like when you're saying it and I have to, redirect your words. It still puts like a negative feeling over me, but based on what you've said.
I can receive that.
Because we are a team,
Right.
you
Gotta
know.
keep
So,
that team's morale up.
yeah, and then sometimes, yeah, like if I had to, if I'm not gonna say it like that,
But I don't
but
100%
I will.
agree with dude.
You may not, but I mean, I agree because when you're having a conversation, you want to come from a loving space. Not saying that space is always gonna be comfortable, to be in or whatever, but you still want to come from a loving space when you're talking to your spouse. So if you just coming at them, like sometimes I can come at you, right? But we love you too.
Right. We sure do. We love you.
But yeah, you could, like how sometimes when we have our spats or whatever, and you say, "Why you getting all loud?" or whatever, however you feel.
Right.
I'm not. To me, I'm not being loud. I'm just being passionate. But
Nope, guys don't ever fall for that. That I'm just being passionate. They're being loud. They're being loud. They're getting out of line because they're trying to use that power dynamic, and they feel like that voice is a boom box. I'm trying to tell you, anybody that knows it, y'all already know that's cap. So let's not cap on our show. No, we don't want to be known to be capping.
well, yeah, those that know me. Yes, okay. So I can get loud. Okay, you stretching it now. But yes, I can get loud, but it's just because I am trying to get out what I'm saying. And at this point, neither one of us are being heard because we're over talking each other, possibly, or whatever. And that is a problem. Uh-oh. Lex said we froze. Thank you, Tammy. That's
Man,
my girl
nobody
right
told
there.
you to pop up on the show on Facebook. Pop up
I
on
love you too,
YouTube.
friend.
Like, comment, and subscribe. And I don't want to hear anything else. But thank you so much for stopping in for the birthday girl. So I'll let you slide today. But only for today. Oh man. So yeah, the part that I really don't agree with is he doesn't really tell. Hold on, let me actually show you guys the part I don't agree with. We're gonna go right back. It was closer to the end. You guys are
Simping with your children, basically.
Oh, you talking about
your girlfriend is your child.
No,
you gotta buy her food. Here go phone call.
That wasn't it.
I know that wasn't it.
Information with you want him doing good in some area. Yeah. And so I think so many people want to talk, but really what you're wanting to do is tear him down. What is the motive of the conversation? Do you want him to get better? He's not going to get better by tearing him down.
So now the problem I have with that, now that I played it again, I can remember. The problem with that is sometimes some people just are afraid to just tell people what it is and continue to let people do their BS. Just continue to do BS, like continue to let them be late without saying anything. And some people look at that like, well, you're breaking them down. You're only telling them what's bad. No, you're telling them what is good as well, but they're only filtering it out to hear the bad. Big problem. Not towards you, babe, but I'm just saying, like,
yeah, because the way you yelled in the mic, I took a look. I was like, hold on now.
Just so people can hear that, and I stand on that, like Denzel did with Blue Magic. Definitely, I hate.
Well, I can understand that too.
Just like,
but at the same time, I think it's just people need to learn how they say things.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to make sure, like, this is a person that you love, you want to protect them. They're supposed to feel protected by you, right? And loved by you, honored, cherished, all of that. And then you're coming at them from a place that doesn't feel loving, even although they may upset you or you feel uncomfortable in that moment, like I said, it's all about how you come at that person. You have to know your spouse and how to approach the situation to make sure that your spouse hears and understands where you're coming from.
Right, right.
Like, you know, I don't know. Sometimes I can take the way you say things because I'm used to, like, my family is kind of blunt when it comes to saying stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm okay. Like, I can just take it and just be like, sometimes. But sometimes I'll be like, hold on, like how, you know, we were just trying good. You got something you need to say? But, you know, you just gotta know your spouse and how you need to approach your spouse so that the communication can not be broken.
That's crazy. Yeah, yeah. You definitely do. You definitely do gotta know your spouse. And sometimes, you still gotta let people know. Once you went around the bush too many times,
Mhm,
stop beating around the bush. Stop like, hey, just basically rubbing the beer, like go on and poke them, get them on up into action. Let's
mhm.
let's start rocking. We can't just let you do this for the rest of your life. These are some things people have to take into is accountability and a sense of urgency. You gotta be able to get up and move. It doesn't even matter if you think it's impossible. If you start on that journey, let's go ahead and do the impossible. You know. So here goes another one that I really like. I heard he's a controversial man, and a lot of people dislike him, but I kind of agree. Well, we'll see if I agree at the end of this.
A man's never going to want to lose. If I had a woman and I came home with all 5 of my friends and she came in the house and said, who's hungry? Anyone want any food? It's not about food. I'm the G now. I'm the big boss. My woman wants to feed all of us. Of the guys there, most of their chicks would never do that. That's respect. That's status for me. That elevates my status. So men are actually very simple to please. Make him feel important and make him look important. That's it. A woman.
Oh man, listen.
Okay, I'm gonna let you give your opinion first. I
I'm
mean,
the
you
big
seen the video.
boss.
This is
I
my
like
first time
I
seeing
like
it.
that part when he said that. I'm the big G. I'm the big boss now. It kind of makes you feel like you honored and you respected to highest regard. So guess what that man's gonna do? Reciprocate that to you and hold you above his head high because you making him just feel so good. He waking up like, man, this is the best life ever. Like, somebody that just because men are simple. We don't really need that much. Just
Mhm,
give us a good hot meal. Know how to cook that good hot meal. Don't make it look like
mhm,
Resident Evil chicken. And you know
mhm.
what I'm saying? Let's make sure that the man
I
is
just
fed.
got one question.
Okay, go ahead.
Did he call? Or is this just some fly by night, like, oh, I'm bringing all these people to the house and pull something out and be ready
Yeah, he
to
called. See, the
host?
thing is, it doesn't matter because she holds him so high. It doesn't matter if he just said 3 minutes
Oh
ago,
yeah, because
babe,
see, I
everybody.
might have cooked just enough for us. Now I gotta pull out all the stops. Like again, communication. And it's not.
Communication is right. But check this out.
Mhm.
And when the terms of what he's saying, and I know, see, that's why he's a controversial take, because he got you squirming and moving all in your cheese
No,
doing,
no, you got me squirming. You got me squirming.
all of this.
No, mm-mm.
You was doing that jam. And I'm just like, wow. Because check this out. You know what? She's holding him this high, this high. And don't do that. Don't show out on here like you don't know what that is. She's holding him above regard, and but guess what? That man's gonna do the exact same thing. You gotta think about reciprocity.
Mhm. Mhm.
You gotta think about reciprocation. You gotta think about that because just, people aren't giving off their equal energy like they're supposed to. They really not. They'll be all, let's do stuff together. The next thing you know, they're like, oh, like, yeah, what are you tired for? I thought we had the same energy the whole time while you're maintaining that constant energy.
Mhm.
They are just dying down. They couldn't keep up with that. So, which means you were really being genuine, and the other person was being an
What other
imposter.
person? What other
Whoever it
person?
is, whoever it is, like you always notice, a lot of people put in a lot of energy in the beginning of relationships. We're talking about imposters, we're
Mhm.
talking about relationships. So these imposters, they'll have all this good high energy because they're used to playing the game, they're used to being imposters, they're used to doing their job. So it's not more of a feeling thing. As soon as they capture the feeling of the other person, then that's how they get them. That's when they mark them.
Does this all is it mm. I don't disagree with how he's saying it made him feel.
Okay.
But like I said, it has to be reciprocity. And you're saying it doesn't matter if she called, but the reciprocation would have been the call. That's my take on that. You know, respect me so that I can make sure that you do look good. Respect me enough to say, hey, babe, look,
I
me
don't
and a
even
few
think he
guys.
asked her to make dinner though. That's the thing.
He
Like,
may
so
now
so
that's
he just bringing
okay.
up
Now
stuff.
that's different. If she just jumps, okay, I'm sorry
What
for
was
cutting
the
you off.
video about?
I don't know. I'm just saying because see, it was very vague for me. It
Hold
was
on.
very
Let
vague.
me play it one more
He didn't
time.
give
Just
enough
so,
details,
no,
but
yes,
no,
he
you
did.
don't
He
even
gave enough
wait.
detail.
Let me say.
Okay.
See, that made me forget what I was about to say.
Oh, I'm sorry, Pookie. Money, money, pumpkin, yummy, yummy, yum. You're nice.
So anyway, yeah, just if she did it without, him calling and she did it, just because or whatever, like, and he didn't ask or anything like that, or that's not an expectation, which to me, I feel like it is based on, him talking about it. I feel like that's an expectation. But to just go and do it yourself because you're in a good mood and you want to make sure you host the company that at your home, that's great. But again, my thing would be communication.
Yeah, I don't think he wanna. I think that's just what she does to show her appreciation to the highest level.
Maybe he
That's
do
my,
it when
but anybody, if you
maybe he
guys
do it when her friends come
please
over.
chime
I don't
in.
know.
Anybody that's watching,
Maybe
chime
he
in,
do it
let
when
us
her
know.
friends come over. Because this is grounds for 50-50 as well, I would think. I don't know.
mean, yeah, I mean, if your friends come, but see, it's gonna look a little weird when a dude does it. All your friends coming from the club, makes you know,
50-50.
hey, all y'all ladies,
50-50.
would y'all ladies like anything to eat? Then you be looking at it like, why is he asking?
50-50.
Like they adults, they can eat. They're adults, they know how to eat right.
50-50.
You don't think it'll go like that?
I'm just saying 50-50.
Okay, well, let's move on now. All right, so this is the one that is really, really, really dope to me.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna cry just because how good it is.
Oh.
Oh.
He's only getting married truly for one reason. Because let me be honest with you women, the men can work and provide for themselves. He does not necessarily need you to cook, clean, and have sex because he can get sex from multiple women. They're giving it out. A lot of them can cook and clean. Their mother taught them or they can pay someone to get it. The culture is telling them do not get married. So why would a man go past what the culture is telling him and choose to have a wife? Because with a wife, you can now have love, you can now have nurturing, you can have support, you can have affection. This is what he can't get from a roommate. So if that is not what you're leading with in your relationships with men, is love, support, nurturing, and respect. This is why your husband is now pulling away, because in the beginning you gave him those things. But as you got into the relationship, you got bitter, you got resentful, you start seeing his flaws, start counting that against him, you start measuring him against other men, and now you're pulling back on the love, the affection, and the nurture.
Ooh, bombs
You
all
not one
day.
time.
Bombs. Oh, you want me to pause it? Oh, what'd you say?
I said I didn't see you crying.
Oh yeah, it got, for some reason it got like a seal right here in the glasses, and the water rolled up and it's getting caught like right at the tip where it touches my face. So yeah, it's a little well right there, but it's okay. So what did you think about what she was saying? She said so much in so little time. Would you like for me to just go and stop at a few places that I felt like was important to me, that was really important? Or do you want to stop,
She's saying basically appreciate the fact that the man chose you. Understand that in his choosing of you, he had a pool of multiple women that he could have chose, and yet he chose you. And so, just make sure that you're choosing him too and reciprocating that.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is that now one time does it really say what he really wanted? Men are so simple. Men don't really, once again, don't really want much. And the main thing of why a man would even consider marriage is because he's considering someone that he can love for the rest of his life without having to, keep restarting. I believe like most active men, most high performing men, they're looking for ends to a mean. They want to build stuff and then come to where everything is 999 because you've done everything you're supposed to do. You paid all your dues, and now you can just enjoy life for what life is supposed to be. With someone you love. They always say you can have all the money in the world, but that don't mean nothing or something like that. So that's true. Even says in the songs, scriptures. No matter what anyone says, like you can't tell me you can be happy with yourself alone. But how much fun you have with someone else is crazy, especially someone else that you can trust. Somebody that's willing to, be there when you need them. And you can damn near count on them 100%. If not that, you can mess around and choke on a piece of bread and almost delete your own self, and she'll be right next to you, or he'll be right next to you to Heimlich maneuver you if they know how to do it.
Right.
Or at least call 911 when you can't talk. That's a major thing. But there's a few key points that I like to go through in that video.
Man wants to get married. He's only getting married truly for one reason. Because let me be honest with you women, the men can work and provide for themselves. He does not necessarily need you to cook, clean, and have sex.
That's one of the biggest things that I like that she said, cook, clean, and have sex. A lot of women are just like, the box is what makes this relationship, or I control this and I control the dude and he's only with me for this. Like, that's crazy. Like, I'm going through all these hoops for that. Yeah, some dudes do. But say you're looking for a high value man, if that's all you're really worried about and he's checking off all the boxes, like we said in previous podcasts with my man's GMT, like all the boxes check off and you still found a way, You get what I'm saying?
Found a way to what?
To mess it up. It's so simple as that. Just mess everything up.
Well, yeah. I guess it just got to be plain. Make it plain. Don't start out trying to intrigue a woman by sex.
Well, I mean,
And
we're just
keep
talking
it
about what you bring. That's why I'm saying
exactly.
that
That's
doesn't
what I'm
make
saying.
sense.
What if a man is getting into a relationship on whatever his core values of what he wants is, then I would think that he would leave the sex out of it to make sure.
Let me ask a question real quick. What does a girl want out of a dude when she meets them, other than what he looks like?
It should start out with a friendship. If you can't be friends, you can't be lovers. So it definitely needs to start out from a friendship from jump. And a lot of times this is where women do fall short, because they do think that, oh, I'm not giving it up. I haven't given it up yet. They may be thinking, let me give him some to hold, keep him around, because he definitely can go somewhere else and get it.
What do they need other than that? Like, what do you guys need other than friendship?
We need
man.
a protector, and which can be shown in that friendship. It can be
What
shown
else?
it can be shown that you know how to provide. Like, I'm not one that always thinks that the guy should have to cover, the date.
Everything.
Right.
Mm,
I've never believed that. So, hey, I'll buy this time. Next time you need to buy. Like it needs to be a balance. It needs to be a
mm.
balance. But show me where you stand as well. Like while guys love to do this test thing when they dating women.
Oh, a lot of guys do that?
Yeah, they're like, you checked all my boxes. Guys love saying
Oh.
that. You checked all my boxes.
What? I haven't heard that till this year. How long
You
has
just
this
said
been
that.
going
You just
on?
Yeah, I
That's
was
what I'm
like, you
saying, till this year,
oh
like,
no,
because I
no,
heard it
it's
this
been
year, so
it's been
it
going on. They even do it in
oh, it
movies.
has?
They do
Men
it in
has
movies.
been checking we've checked boxes off? Hmm.
Men do. I mean,
Women
women
do
do
women check?
too. Women
Okay.
women do too when they know what what they're looking for exactly. They do it too. But I'm saying, like make sure that those boxes are getting checked, and it doesn't have to be like, okay, well, he did that. Let me go and check that off. No, you don't. It doesn't have to go like it
I
doesn't have to
think
go
I think
like
it's
that. It just
important to have that checklist, a mental
No, I'm not
checklist.
saying. Oh no. I'm not saying that you don't have a checklist because I mean,
Uh-huh.
sure, I had one.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Mm.
but at the
I
same
checked
time,
all them
like, but
boxes.
at the same time, you was my friend first.
All them boxes are green.
Mm. You was my
Oh,
friend
Lord.
first.
Yeah. And that was the special thing about it. 'Cause I could, you was
Mm-hmm.
probably the best friend that I probably had around that time. I don't think shoot. Especially when you're going through a lot of somebody that you could really confide in.
Mm-hmm.
That's I
Okay. Yep.
mean,
Because
a
you
lot
sound
of
like you
people
better
don't
start.
have that.
Thank you, babe.
That was so good.
I'm just messing. I'm just messing.
Excellent.
No, I appreciate you acknowledging me though.
Mm,
Because like I said, I mean, friendship matters. I- The same way a man can go out there, and I say this all the time, the same way a man can go out that door and mess around with, another young lady, a female can do it too. So at the end of the day, you gotta, it's on the board, but that gotta be removed as like your top tier. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
no, you gotta break it down a little more.
Like you have to be willing when stuff ain't working no more. Like,
Mm,
you something drastic can happen within the first year of your marriage, second,
mm,
third, whatever.
mm, mm,
And that thing ain't working no more, or
mm,
the box is cut off, because of
mm,
whatever. Can you still stand with that person?
Will you want to still be there for that person? That's when
Yeah,
that better for worse
are you
kicks in.
willing? Yeah, are you
Yeah.
willing to?
And can you still put on that fake? And that's why I say that faking is dangerous from the beginning because that faking can have
Absolutely.
somebody live the rest of their, good years on this earth without knowing because they thought that you took that person, for better or for worse. And then now when it comes to worse, you ain't worsening it. You ain't riding or deleting. Oh, I like that
Yeah.
phrase. Yeah, you tripping. And I find that as real heartache. It's been plenty of times I thought about, just because I always think about negative stuff first from what you say, but just thinking of it, anything was to go out of line to
Mhm.
where one of us would be, deleted one day. And I said to myself, I was like, you don't have to see that all the way through, my boy. And
Mhm.
that was an automatic feeling. That wasn't a thought. That was an automatic feeling. Like if that was to happen, clink, like I had the feeling of what you should do, or your subconscious telling you, that's what you should do. I didn't betray myself. When my
Mhm.
subconscious already told, like I already knew it wasn't trying to second guess it or say something else or start saying, hey, I don't really like how our relationship went. I don't know if I want to do all that.
Mhm.
Or
Mhm.
now I'm starting to figure out I really didn't love her like this. I can't go through all this. And then it starts showing
Exactly.
and
And
then you got to look stupid, at the same time. So, going out the door, that's crazy. That's crazy. So you gotta think about who you get with because like, who you get was going to determine your quality of life. I know a lot of people say, you know, that can go any way with anyone. And yeah, it can. So you need to figure out who's that person you're willing to go through the fire with.
It's my birthday. It's my birthday. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But yes, you do. You have to know in your core.
Brother, whoa,
If this
now. You got too much dip on your chip. Whoa, brother, whoa.
I don't know who that was, but it sounded like Country Wayne. And it sounded like you had too much dip on your chip. Not 100% sure. But
anywho, but you have to know within your core. You have to have
how does that feel? How do you know that? What does that look like?
A discernment. You have to have discernment for the person that you're wanting to.
And we're gonna hold on 1 second. Hold that thought. When we about to bring
What? Hi, Cookie.
Hi. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, nice and clear. Okay, all right. Oh, that's some love. They showing out today for y'all. I don't get it. What's your birthday? Now you got Cookie on here. Y'all just laughing hysterically.
You did not call me and tell me happy birthday.
Girl, I can't keep with nobody's birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Anyway, back to the show.
Because he can get sex from multiple women. They're giving it out. A lot of them can cook and clean. Their mother taught them, or they can pay someone to get it.
Okay, can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
So the discernment. You know, I don't know, your faith, basically. You have to trust that God is going to place the right people in your path, right? But sometimes some stragglers come along. And so you have to be able to know,
identify.
What's right and what's wrong in your path.
Yeah.
And it's not easy, but you know, if you have that checklist to go by, they can guide you.
The one you don't like,
that you want. I don't care, whatever it is. Funny, you know, the height. Now I'm just tell you certain things when you praying for certain things, just remember God has a sense of humor too. So, you want somebody short, you might get somebody tall. You want somebody tall, you might get somebody short. You want somebody funny, they might not be too funny, they might be corny, but just have a list and then go through that list and see what it is that you can tolerate and that you can't.
Yeah. I think that's bars right there. I definitely do. Now, what do you think about it, Cookie? Think about what she said. Anything you want to piggyback off?
But it's about toleration. You know, a lot of times you can have a preference of a person that you want to be with, but like she said, that might not be the person that God sent to you. He might be the total opposite. And this is just something that you say you might want. And what sometimes the things that you say you want in life is not necessarily the best for you.
Yep. And that's true. A lot of the people that are in your life are only for a season.
Yeah.
And sometimes you extend that season from 4 to like 10 seasons.
That's why I love that Madea play. Why did I go to jail? I think it was, and she said, "Everybody don't come in your life to stay. Everybody come for a season."
Oh yeah, that's an old Madea.
But that's
But that statement is so true. What he said.
Yeah, there are
people say they fall in love and don't really, and it be all these signs saying don't marry this person, don't marry this person. The signs are there. They ignore them signs and they get married that person anyway. And then a lot of them just feel like they stuck there since. But once you, Because when you marry somebody and you know they already doing wrong and they doing a lot of things that you don't like, and then you still marry them, you accepting them for who they are. And then you
Or
want to
you might have needed
marry,
them.
then you want to marry that person, and then you realize marrying them didn't change them. They still the same person.
That's a problem that a
A
lot of
question. A
women,
question. Why do
Yeah,
y'all think marrying them will change them? Who?
because we think
because
that
it's a commitment.
milestone. Yeah,
It's a
exactly. We
But
think that
they done
milestone.
showed they were never good at commitment in the first
mm-hmm.
place.
That's true.
I'm thinking
We
that
just
by
saying
they marrying you,
Oh,
they
that
willing
is
to
going to make him,
change.
stand up.
Yeah,
Well,
because you're saying
sometimes
you're
you can make
committing
people
to
change,
that.
so
yeah,
that's a positive thought. Definitely
Yeah,
positive.
but that's the way most women think. Even
yep.
like, women that get pregnant by a young guy.
hmm
They think that
Mm-hmm.
having that baby is going
It's
to
gonna hold them.
mature that guy and keep him
Oh
there.
boy,
Yeah,
Mm,
and it's
And
not.
you have been fooled.
men, it is, especially if you're the same age, because men, they mature way slower.
Yeah, all
So you're
right.
gonna have to put some years into that
Mm-hmm.
time.
Yep.
Way slower. Hold
Mm-hmm.
on.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, men do mature slower than women in most cases.
Oh, okay, you
Oh
said
yeah.
way slower. I was
Yeah.
confused.
Way.
Well, yeah. That's why they said a man ain't a man till he's 21, and a woman once she turned 18,
You
because
see
she's
when
more
they say
mature.
way slower. See that?
Mm-hmm.
You hear that?
Yep.
That's a lot of them sounds because y'all are tripping. Now you
Mm-mm.
say some men, a
Mm,
fraction of men,
Well.
mm.
but
Mm-hmm.
some men mature faster than some females, and that's
Yeah, you
we
right.
argue. So
That
You're
is
right.
true.
It's all about where they mind frame is, because back then it was always that saying, "Oh, boys gonna be boys," and that made them mature slower.
mm,
But
mhm.
the goal for a young man to be in a commitment with one woman, that's your maturity.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow, wow, yeah,
And yeah, it shows
And
maturity
that's
and
uh,
commitment. You're able to commit to things.
mm-hmm,
Stability shows stability. You don't like all that bouncing around.
yeah,
right.
and that's why a lot of men be still at home with mama just so they can have extra money to play with all these different women out here in the street. Because if he want to be in a commitment relationship, he'll want to have his own place and settle down with a woman.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Let's see. So I believe women are getting out of the house a little sooner because they got sugar daddies that's willing to pay for them to come out the house.
What?
Say that again.
Exactly.
Because listen. Everybody is going to a
Oh yeah.
opposite parental. What you call it? You see what I'm saying? Check this out. This is how I think about it.
I,
A dude
I
staying
came
on a
from
mama's
Atlanta.
couch too. They can go out, right?
Hmm.
That's what she said, right?
Okay,
Well,
you said what?
go ahead. Go ahead.
Right. And then women are getting out the house sooner because men are paying to
Go
pull them
ahead.
out. Women aren't paying to really pull a dude out of his mama's house. Now, if they catch you scrabbling around in the street, they might pick you up. But as far as taking you completely out of another woman's house, it might not be as rare as I think. But I don't think it happens as much as catching them straggling around in the street and fronting like they have, and then they don't. Now, a female, what she has to do is be pretty, pop up on a website, or just get caught out somewhere. And guess what? A dude is willing, and we already know this is starting at young ages where men are approaching women and letting them know, hey, you want some money? You can come live with me, or you could be around me, or I can buy
That
you
is still
a house.
incorrect. That is
Yeah,
still
a
incorrect.
female will leave the nest before a man would.
Yeah, and I'm gonna
The
tell you right
male
now,
has to be kicked out.
they're
So
not even gonna
some
want.
females, or not all females.
No, a lot of females not even gonna want their parents to. If you're in the sense of what you're talking about, the
Mm-hmm.
sugar daddy stuff,
Mm-hmm.
they not gonna want their parents in their business, so they gonna move out just because of that.
No,
Hmm.
the sugar daddy gonna move them out. He gonna move smooth all the way on out. What
That's
do
a
you think?
possibility too,
Ain't no possibility.
but
He
in
got
most
no
cases,
money.
his money is what she used to do that. But speaking about commitment and wanting to be mature and on your own and do your own thing, that is based on maturity.
And
And that is
yeah,
not based on
and
no sugar daddy. That's based on the woman going and being self-driven to do what she needs to do. What did they say? It's a lot about the mindset. My nephew, a 20-year-old man that lives like a 35-year-old man, one job, one woman, focused. And see, yeah, I can.
you about to hit your head
Again,
on the computer screen trying to read that though.
stability.
You got
No,
real close.
I'm nowhere near my computer screen. Child, whatever. You just mad because she proved the point. First off, I would have to come all the way like that.
That's what you did. I saw it.
I did like that. I don't have my glasses on. Anyway,
let me go.
But let's go back.
Right.
Okay. Culture is telling them do not get married. So why?
The culture is telling males not to marry women anyway. They are saying
I do agree with that. I do agree with that.
All saying it. And that
I mean, I don't agree with the culture, but I do agree that the culture is telling men not to get married. Now,
most people go with what the culture says.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's what molds you. That's what shapes you, your environment, your culture, and a few other little factors. But those are the biggest things that kind of scope you.
Yeah, so, I mean, because that's that peer pressure.
Right. If the culture is telling you to do something, either one, if you're on the fence about it, you're gonna think it's okay. Because you're gonna be like, hey, my culture's going with it, that the masses just put me in this box right here. You know, that's how that works.
And in most cases, like even with fashion, the culture does it. So a lot of people try to follow that out. But again,
likes it, I like it.
In a lot of cases, that's the guy. The guy and the guy sticks to his culture. Like even the culture
Not the girl.
Can I finish my explanation?
Yes, ma'am. I'm so sorry.
Thank you. Thank you. No, I'm just so anyway, even the culture of the black guy, he will get with a black woman, let that woman build him up to a certain status, leave that black woman, and then go to another race. That is a part of the culture.
That how they doing it? Is that their roadmap?
It's a consistent thing. Like in a lot of cases, yes, that is the map.
Wow. Who is teaching them this? Where are they getting this from? And why? The question we got to ask is, why is this happening like that? Just the culture is staring them? Or is there some other movement?
We're basing it off of culture, and mainly the culture. The culture is doing that because, what happens in a lot of cases, you don't see no one around, just all the men around them with outside, races. They see themselves like getting to a certain status. I don't know a celebrity like that personally, but I know plenty that have been married to a black woman, divorced a black woman, and then with a white woman. And I ain't gonna say white because other races too. But it happens. If I can see it, then I know a lot of young black boys see it too, which makes it a part of the culture. These are the people that they see, especially if there's no daddy and all. These are the men that are leading the way.
But women helping it out for the culture too, and following what the culture says too. Because once again, Sexy Red said, "I don't need a man," something, and
that's
she's out there throwing up gang signs and all types of official lettering. But
that is absolutely true. I do not agree with that either. I don't even. That's not no.
And the other thing is, so when we talk about accepted, when she goes to school and gets mad because, first of all, who let you go there? I know we've seen this a lot in the comments, but we was like, wow, really? Somebody superintendent invited Sexy Red to their elementary, not even a high school. I could be like, okay, you're all trying to turn up for a pep rally, but it was an elementary school.
I don't know if it was the superintendent that invited her to the school.
It had to clear by him.
No, because the principal didn't allow her in.
Oh, okay. So who even gave her the idea?
She didn't get in the door. They didn't let her in.
Who navigated her there?
I don't know. Maybe it was the school that she used to go to. I don't know. Because I just found it just ignorant that
would want their kids? And you know your kids are gonna come home and say, "There's a special surprise
but
for me.
yeah,
It's
but
Sexy Red," and the parents were like, "Whoa, you got too much dip on your chip," you know? They
but
want
the boundaries. Like if I put out the type of music that she put out,
Mhm.
I'm not gonna go to somebody's school
And then perform it.
and try to perform that type of music in
Elementary
front of
school.
their child.
Wow.
So it's not just about what she's trying to promote as far as herself. You're disrespecting me as a parent by trying to place
Mhm.
this on my child without my permission.
Mhm. Now you got little sexy Mercedes twerking on top of the school desk.
So
You wonder
yeah,
why
I
she's getting a
mean,
referral.
I get it. That is definitely a cultural problem too. I definitely agree on the
Yeah.
women's side because that
Yep.
thing just
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So when women follow the culture too, so if the culture is now saying Sexy Red and Sexy Red is holding up money, which means pay me, you know, it's all signs. Sexy Red throwing up signs, pay me.
right.
You see what I'm saying? It's boom, 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 back to back. Now you're making nursery rhymes on top of it and sign language. Bae, I love, you know, it's now the kids, they're locked in.
But
The marketing is
now I don't
saturated.
wholeheartedly agree with, Sexy Red or whatever. Like I do not.
But you agree
But
with
I
her
will
marketing
say that
team.
no, I don't like none of them. The whole team can go right in the trash can. But
Mm,
what I'm saying is most of the people
mm.
that promote and sing her music mostly are guys. Most that I
That
hear are
promote her
guys.
music?
Say I love you. Yes.
Listen,
I'm not saying that it's not females, and it's mostly young females, but I'm
right.
not saying that it's not. But I'm saying a lot of guys promote her music. They like it because it's right
Mm,
up that nasty girl alley. You get what I'm saying? So
yeah.
what happens again? Because
But they not riding
we
around
gotta
playing it. You can't be out here
if a
riding
man
around
is
playing
not
Sexy Red.
acceptable of this music, the music would not be getting played. If a
I don't know
man
about
is
that.
not acceptable, but he's acceptable because he like that nasty girl behavior. So because he like that nasty girl behavior, guess what? You creating a culture of nasty girls.
The men
Right
is.
or wrong.
The men are.
Right or wrong. No, don't ask. I'm asking you. Right or wrong.
Wrong. How are the men creating them? You think I'm gonna take the rap for the men creating them? I look like a sucker. I got a lollipop wrapper around my head. Like
No, but listen.
what?
If the man would
Oh,
say, "No, this is not good music. It's not good
right.
music. I don't want no woman behaving like this. I don't want that."
Okay.
No, it wouldn't be getting promoted.
Okay, how about
The
this?
marketing
I
team
get what
would
you're
not
trying to
even.
say. Let me sum it up real quick before I forget. So what you're trying to say is if the man said, "Hey, no, I don't want you shaking that booty in front of me and doing all that. And get that away from me, Sexy Red. This is not about culture." And then next thing you know, all right, now women had nothing else to sell to, but they could also sell to themselves. They probably wouldn't be making that much, but okay. All the men said no, which you think realistically will ever happen.
No, it's not gonna happen because this is the culture.
But we're not
But I'm
riding
saying
around buying Sexy Red. We're not streaming it. If it gets played and we
when
see it,
Sexy Red came
okay.
to
Who you know? Who you
the
know? You
city,
can't say no names. I
pre
was about to, oh
pre
Lord.
teeth.
Okay.
It was several guys
Oh
singing, and
man. For the sake of the argument, that's only a few people and they took their kids. Thank you.
which
Oh,
is which
wait,
is
no, they didn't take their kids. I don't know.
some people
It's
did take their
debatable.
kids out there because I saw an advertisement about their children being taken out there,
Mm.
which was insane to me. But again, if you permit as the parent, that's your business. But again, a
But there's
lot of
other people
guys.
there too. They didn't just come like she just happened to be thrown into this. So it's marketing to get
Okay, that's
into
what
a
I'm saying. A
bundle.
lot of guys were going to see Sexy
They was
Red.
not going to see Sexy Red. I refuse to hear that.
I will. Well, I'm gonna ask him if I can pull up his post about Sexy Red because he definitely was there, standing,
Okay, he
waiting
might have wanted
in
to
the
see
rain.
how the work looked that got done. But sexy red feet is ugly.
My
So
point.
I
My
already know
point.
he didn't want to see that.
That's a preference. That's a preference. But ain't nobody turning down no ass cheeks.
Oh, okay.
Oh Lord, Cookie back on here. Cookie, you could have stayed off a little bit longer so I could have said my little cuss word. Okay, my bad. Come back on now.
And she got her phone sideways, so it look like she's sitting in the closet.
Oh man. But you know, I'm just saying it's things that are being pushed out there on the men that the men don't even really want.
So how you blaming the men if they don't want it? They just going along with, a good time, I guess, But they're not the ones that's going out there and, telling the girls.
But then they be hiding the good
attention.
girl, the conservative girl.
Who hides the good girl?
Not hiding like that. Not saying like, the door shut or whatever, but just a
more not shown because it doesn't. We
more marketing
and
press on that. More marketing press to be on
sells,
that. My point. Culture.
Okay.
But then she done being so nasty, you don't want her no more. So you go,
No, they always gonna want her. They always gonna want her. Always.
What's going on?
Why would a man go past what the culture is telling him and choose to have a wife? Because with a wife, you can now have.
So a lot of people are like, hey, I don't need a wife. Why would I choose a wife? Well, because now you can experience what love is. And love moves mountains. It changes lives. It will show you how much, for the males, of a man you can be and how much you can tolerate and push and stretch your realities and boundaries and everything. Because let me tell you, oh boy, let me tell you. You don't really know what real love is until you try to get married.
You know what? Okay, I have a friend, this friend guy, and he said he would never get married. And I was like, well, why not? And he said because he cheated with so many married women. So many married women. So he said in his eyes, his wife ain't gonna do nothing but cheat on him. So he refused to get married.
Well, he might be right because he might have cursed himself.
And so how old is he?
He's 50 something.
Is he in good health right now? He good build, good shape?
Yeah, he's in good health. Perfect health.
Okay.
So he out there paying for it.
Huh?
He out there paying for it.
No.
Well, he got a girlfriend?
No, see, and that's the thing.
What are you doing?
He just have different women.
What are you doing?
Different women. Some of them married, some of them not. I mean,
So my thing with him is when he gets into where he start having issues, people already don't want to take care of you and they know you your whole life. What happens to when you all alone? You know what I'm saying?
That
How
ain't
bad is that
nobody
going to be?
and but then see, and you know, like this lady worked at a nursing home, and she said that it was a guy, a young guy, had a stroke, and she said he was like in his early, she said like late 30s or early 40s, and she said she asked him, "You not married?" And he said no. She said, "Why you not married?" And he said he didn't know. And she said, "Now if you had a wife, your wife could have been here taking care of you." But see, but that right there is not always true either. Just because you married and you get sick don't mean that that man or woman gonna stand by them.
And that's what we was talking about. Like when people act fake, they only in it for what they want, for the need that they want. They don't really, want the person they want because you feel a connection to somebody that you're with. They start feeling bad, you feel bad, you start having that line, that connection. And then so if they real bad, you just gonna turn your back on them and not really do what you need to do.
But then that shows if they really love that person, they're gonna stay there and take care of that person through thick and thin.
Right. It, like, what is it, for better or for worse? So, when people bring up those vows, like, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
And people should not get in the middle of nobody's marriage either.
That's now
You, you know,
that is definitely.
I mean, mamas, daddies, sisters, brothers, aunt, grandmama. I don't care who you are, best
Mm-hmm.
friends. You know, uh, uh,
Stay out
that
of
that
it
should,
because you don't
yeah,
really
that should,
know
right. You only know one side of the story
what
always, and
people
it's
tell
always three
you.
sides: yours, theirs, the truth. So
Yeah,
Mm.
it ain't up to me or nobody else to say.
yeah, exactly.
And I, you know, I'm not gonna tell nobody to leave their husband or leave their
Mm.
wife because you
Mhm.
know, if it can be worked out, work it out. It doesn't matter what the situation is. I mean, things happen to show another person how much I love my wife or how much I love my husband.
Right, right. And
You
you
know,
shouldn't have to prove that to nobody else.
yeah.
That should already be
Mhm.
known in the relationship.
Because I'm talking to this guy right now. He talking about he embarrassed to take his wife back because they were separated and she done slept with another man and he
Mm,
felt embarrassed to take her back. I said, embarrassed? I said, boy, I ain't heard that one in years.
right, right.
I
Yeah,
said,
because
because the things happen. And I
Yeah.
said, if you
you,
truly love, that's something you got to put behind you because y'all wasn't even together. You just trying to
right.
work it out.
Mhm.
So, you know, it's
Mhm.
just a lot of things.
That's pride.
Yeah, yeah. It's just a lot of things that
Right, right.
you know that goes on in a marriage. That when people let people in their get when they start letting people involve their opinions in their marriage, especially if it's negative. You shouldn't
Mhm.
let no negative energy come in. Let somebody put that in your marriage.
Right. Gotta start persuading
Because
your
if
thoughts.
they don't have nothing positive to say, how you can fix the problem, because any problem can be worked out
Mhm.
if both parties are willing to work it out.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
But it takes two parties. But if and sometimes you can tell when, I mean, you'll know when enough is enough, how much you can take. Because it
Right.
shouldn't take years. You know, my best friend, my best friend mama always say, if two people love each other, it's not hard to make it work. If they love one another. If they don't love one another, it's not gonna work.
Mm,
She
mm,
always say that.
I can
mm.
agree with that.
This
Because it
especially
shouldn't be hard. Because you know, marriage is all about communication and trust. You got to have them too, and you have to be on the same accord. I mean, you know, if you on the same accord, even before you say "I do." If you're looking for a woman that you can build something with, have something with, y'all can just, you know, just strive to your goals. And then, but you looking, but someone be looking at this woman because oh, she's beautiful, you know. Oh, I'm gonna hold on to her because looking at looks and ain't caring about what she got to bring to the table.
mm,
Ain't even
mm,
caring because he's stuck on beauty.
mm,
Yeah.
Or or it could be the P,
Cookie,
or it
that was for
could be the
you.
D.
Look at that. You ate that up, Cookie. There you go.
I mean, you know, a lot of people get married. Some people get married for the wrong reason, and then when they realize they want more, and now they married, and they look at and all along he or she didn't want nothing. Y'all just looking at what y'all was getting out of it at the time, and now
Right.
that
So you
son
don't
got
even know why
old.
you were married. Yeah, you don't know
Right,
why you got married.
you're
Yeah.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And then next thing you know, what happens? They start cheating, fussing,
Mm,
fighting, and all this stuff.
Yeah.
yeah.
But you got to know what you want
Yeah.
before you say I do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you got to know what you want. You got to know, and you got to know what marriage looks like to you. That's a big
Right.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
And some people
Yeah.
just think you're together and it's a piece of paper. No, you got to know
Mm-hmm.
what marriage is supposed to look like, and
Mm-hmm.
that was something big, even for me and Portia, trying to figure out what marriage is supposed to look like because we both had two different family dynamics, and so
Mm-hmm.
that plays a big role too. That's why I tell people, get to know the other person's family, before you even go that far.
Yeah.
Like, see if you're gonna be able to
Well,
fit in.
well, you know what? I would kind of like disagree with that because
Okay.
you don't have to deal with the family like that. I mean, you can go to family functions. You know how often is that? It's like you have to go to their house every weekend or every month. Uh, nothing like that. I mean, so it ain't
Child.
about the family because you have a lot of family members that has a jealous heart too.
That's what I mean. So
Baby.
yeah,
After.
that could be
So
one of the reasons too, because it's too much pressure from, especially if they have a big family,
mhm,
too much pressure. So
yep,
it's a lot of factors
You
take
heard
place.
Trey to my especially if they got a big family.
I know, like this one. I'm
Listen, let me
telling
tell
you.
you. Yeah, but
Oh,
But
Cookie, you got a
you,
fan, Cookie. They
you
say
sure
Cookie
do. Come
speaking
on,
facts.
Cookie.
Come
huh?
on, Cookie.
Yeah, I told you I gave
What?
her the yum yum. She was
You
in there
got a
eating it up.
fan. Somebody
Eating it up.
Mr. Ruffles has entered
Nah.
the
I'm just gonna
stage.
sit up here
Oh.
and mm-mm. And people got to learn to respect a marriage too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the people
Yeah,
has
yeah.
to learn it because a lot of people don't care. I mean, you might have a single friend, and I always want to just run to your house knowing you married. That's disrespectful.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No single person should be running to your house like that. I'm not saying you can't have single friends, but
Mm-hmm.
you
And that's what
know,
I was gonna ask. Is it better
mhm.
to have single friends or is it better to
No,
have a
it's better to
mixture?
have married friends. It's
Okay.
It
better
is
to have
better to have
yeah,
married friends.
yeah, married friends because you can't do what a single man can do. And Portia, you can't do what single women do. Some
I
of
Mm.
the
know.
things you can't do because you
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
have to remember I'm married. I have a
Right.
husband to go home to. I got a wife to go home to. So it is best to have married friends.
Right. I agree with that.
Mm.
Because single
Mm.
friends can cause problems in a marriage.
Mm-hmm. Cause child, I've had my share of single friends.
They
I
can
don't
cause
know.
problems.
I mean, yeah.
I kind of want to chime in on that one. You know,
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Ruffles.
just because, you know, I feel like because you got married friends doesn't have single-minded thoughts.
Right.
Mm.
Mm.
You
Mm.
know,
Now let me
and,
give you one of these.
you know,
Yeah.
you can be married and then be in different situations and being around everybody who's in the kind of situations that you're around, but things operate differently in certain situations, depending on how them people
Yeah.
are, what you're around. I
Okay.
think
Mhm.
it's different.
Now I will
I think
say
so. You know,
I
I'm
will.
just saying, I'm just being
No, I
my
don't
job for just
disagree with
jumping.
everything that you're saying, but I don't disagree with neither one of y'all. But I do think like single or married friends, you have to make sure that they're friends that respect your marriage. Because yes, there
Mhm.
are. Thank you, thank you. Because I have single friends, but my friends respect my marriage.
Mhm.
You know.
Well, see, that's all I'm saying. They have to have respect for your marriage,
Mhm.
and you
Mhm.
know, cause I have three friends I've been friends with for over 20 years. When one got married, whoever is married, we didn't run to each other's house anymore. That's the respect we have for each other's home. So we got to show respect. They have to show respect. If your single friends can't show you no respect for your marriage and like you go hanging out, oh, come out and stay a little bit longer. Oh, but I done told my husband I'm gonna be home at this time. Oh, just come on, let's keep having fun. And then you stay, then your friend done influence you. Your single friend done influence you to do something to go against your marriage.
Mhm.
So you just got to be careful
Mm.
with single friends.
Mm. Mm. You definitely get one of them.
Hmm.
Hey,
You do. You got to
that
be careful,
was
but you got to
definitely
be
wrong.
careful with married friends too.
Yeah, I
Definitely
mean,
wrong.
yeah,
You just
but
got to
you
be, you know, you got
Yeah.
you. It's your job. At the end of the day, it's your job to protect your
yeah, but
marriage.
some people are just easily. to be influenced. That's the thing. That's what I'm
Well,
saying.
you shouldn't be going
Because
outside the house. That's just all that is. If you are that weak, you shouldn't even be going nowhere.
Quick question, y'all. What do y'all think about swingers? It just crossed my mind. Wasn't even
swingers,
part of the
I
show.
disagree with it.
Somebody, why is he
Because
talking about this?
let me tell you about that.
What you disagree
The
about
same
it?
guy I was
That's
talking
the
about
first
with his
thing. What you
wife,
disagree about
not
it?
getting back with his wife.
Oh, hold on, Cookie. Hold on,
Okay,
Cookie. Mr.
okay, go
Ruffles
ahead.
got a question for you. No,
And
no, go ahead.
she about to answer the question.
Oh, you about to answer? Oh, okay. My
Okay,
bad.
yeah, because him and his wife was swinging. Well, they did a threesome, but he ended up leaving his wife for the woman.
I heard of that at the airport too. I had a friend. He cried in
Oh
the
my
corner.
gosh, I forgot all about that.
You remember?
I
His
remember.
name
And
was
see,
Jacob, boy.
that's
Why
why
you
you
putting
know.
that boy name out there?
Oh, boy, nobody knows when I worked
That
at the airport.
that's why you don't invite nobody into your bedroom.
I'm
You
trying to
don't
tell
do
you, you don't
that.
do no mess like that.
That man or
Mm-mm.
that woman might do some things to you that your wife or your husband not doing. That's why
Man, and
he
then
gonna leave. He
you know
gonna
what's
get one
crazy?
more.
The man walked away with he came to party, but he left with everything.
Mm. No.
Oh man, how does that happen? I
Swing.
know that is a real sad fun date that you had. That play date went wrong. It went wrong. You thought you
Yeah,
was about to have some extra fun. Well, you shouldn't even been. Well,
you shouldn't be doing it. No way.
No.
Nasty stuff.
yeah, that's incredible. But
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Ruffles, why do you agree with it? Look,
He's smiling hard
Mr.
too.
Ruffles, we can't.
Tell me, I ain't gonna say I agree with it because if you in certain situations have to allow you to put yourself in a situation that entice you to even think about that's what y'all need to be doing or what you need to be doing, you know? Shit like
Mm,
that is for people who don't got no business and don't really understand what they want and what they got going on with themselves, you know? So
Mm-hmm.
for me, I just feel like if everything is based and balanced like it's supposed to be, you never put yourself in a situation with your partner, the one that you care about and love, and that you gotta see them doing something else that you don't want to see them doing with anybody else, even if you dare not.
mm,
Preach.
mm,
Mm-hmm.
Preach.
Just saying.
mm.
That's
I
not
like
cool at
that.
all. No matter what kind of level you want with anything. I don't want to see that. That's gonna hurt my feelings sometimes. You know, it's gonna make me feel some kind
But
of
you
way. They going and then people get in their mind, oh, I can do this because we allow them to get away with that, and we allow them to do that. Then it becomes secondary. Oh, we did it, and then now you can't offset it because you let that happen. Keep it away,
Well,
keep it away from your circle that won't touch you.
Mm. Say that
Keep it
again. Say
away
that
from your
again for
I
circle that
get
everybody.
won't touch you.
Okay,
Keep
that
away from your
and that
circle that
right
won't
there.
touch you.
Oh yeah, you see for the
You
third time.
know,
One more
you
time.
have,
One more
you
time.
have
One more
no,
time.
you have no, because I think things like that, and that's why I say it's balancing things and the way the world evolves. And
hmm
I was telling somebody the other day, we only evolve in our world for how our world stands. And your world
Mm,
is your
okay.
world.
mm.
My world is my world.
Blink,
My
blink.
world revolves around the things that makes me happy, the people that I keep going and keep me moving, and I allow the things inside of my life I choose to allow in my world. Even though it's a
Mm,
bigger
Amen.
planet, it's
Amen.
a bigger planet out here though.
There you
Preach,
go.
preach, preach,
There you
preach.
I'm
go.
just saying. My bad, I
Ruffling
didn't
them
mean to keep
feathers.
going, y'all.
Ruffling them
I'm
feathers. I
just
see
Eating.
saying,
why.
when we talking about sacred shit, and we talking about marriage, we talking about sticking together and being down with somebody. I
mm-hmm.
was married and I got divorced because I wasn't built for the marriage that got handed because it wasn't
Mm,
supposed to be. It is what it is. I take my causes and understand. I know life. I know what the way that things revolve and how what we're gonna accept and we're gonna accept. We can keep accepting bull crap and covering it up because we're in certain situations. Everybody's marriage is different.
Yeah.
Everybody's relationship is different.
Yeah.
I don't care
Mm-hmm.
what you put into the situation. Anybody can say they're gonna accept it, they're gonna accept that, but they don't have that same person. They're not moving that same day at that same time. As that's why everybody is so totally different. No two people live the same life.
regardless how close your life is together with each other.
That's true.
It's gonna be
That's
a
true.
time in your
Yeah.
life, and you ain't gonna be around that person. And it's your loyalty and your respect for the person that's gonna make sure that the bullshit don't go down.
You right.
And
Mhm.
Yeah.
if you're not a bullshit to go around while you're around, when the bullshit not around, it might go down.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Mr.
I could be
Ruffle,
wrong,
Mr.
and I could
I
be
Ruffle
right.
love
dropping them
that.
gems.
I
I'm
love
just
that.
saying.
That was
And what I love about it is he's bringing his lessons. It's going to turn into his
life
future
lessons are
lessons
definitely
from,
important.
you know, the
Cause
way he
God got
learned.
everything to do with what we got going on. If nobody don't believe that, then you losing.
Right.
Shit, you don't do nothing in this world without him. He got the
Yep,
power,
that's
everything.
right.
But you gotta believe in what you got going on. You believe in what you got going on, he got your back.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
You know, if you want that in your life, he gonna make sure that be in your life. And it's gonna be rough sometimes, but you gotta fight and understand this is what you get. You get what you ask for. Get it because you asked for it.
Stay in the ring.
You know, I'm just saying though, y'all. When we be having these discussions, it be touching me because of a lot of things go on in this world and it goes fast.
The
Yeah.
world
Super
does go
fast.
fast.
That goes fast as hell out here. You
Super
know?
fast.
And we going to make a statement or point and let them know we out here. We out here. 'Cause I'm out here. I don't know what nobody else breathing, but I know what I'm breathing. You know?
Yeah.
Everybody, like Jiggy said, they bleed just like us. That's me being scared. I can't be scared. I gotta breathe. I gotta live. And if I don't live, and the people that depends on me, how they gonna live? They're gonna take it for a sucking MC type stuff.
Mm.
Right. Right.
I didn't want to curse. That's my
You
non
good? You good? Hey,
Nah, you good, Jamie. I appreciate
one
that.
second, Mr. Ruffle. So once again, y'all, if y'all liking the content that you're seeing, please like, comment, subscribe, and share for more content. We're gonna have a whole bunch of shows just coming out rapidly talking about topics because we're trying to figure out exactly what day we're gonna land on. So it's gonna be rapid shows just coming out, but it's gonna be some substance in it and some incredible content. And in order for us to keep on doing that content, like, comment, subscribe, and share for more content. You might even find out that I'll be a South Carolina realtor soon. So y'all stay tuned for that. Also, my guy, Mr. Ruffles, definitely a bartender. You guys got to check him out. He got his own bartending business. So
And Cookie, give Cookie a shout out. She has her own trucking company. So if anybody out there,
tell them what the name of it is.
oh yeah, we love that name.
Highway
stop playing. Y'all
rollers.
been out here doing your thing.
Highway Rollers. Do you hear that boss name? Cookie, sell it to me.
Sell it, bro. Sell it.
Sell it to me.
Sell it.
That
Bro.
name, that is a really,
It's the
really,
guy.
really dope name. Really dope name. All right. So back to the video. We're gonna go ahead and drop some more stuff off on y'all before we end this today.
Love, you can now have nurturing, you can have support, you can have affection. This is what he can't get from a roommate. So if that
I like to say that a lot of people think getting together with somebody is a roommate situation thing. Like, so they want to move in for free. Nowadays, people get in relationships to be with them for free, like to get all the stuff that they couldn't afford from this person because they got it or they like the situation that you live in. Not necessarily that they like you. They really don't really like you or care about you, but they're going to fulfill the spot that somebody else should be in, trying to get to know you and actually wasting your time. And this is one of the reasons why we promote marriage. Of course, all marriages aren't perfect, but at the end of the day, you're working towards a common denominator, a common goal, and common grounds to be able to grow and flourish out here in this world. Because as we know, two incomes are better than one. This is why I really don't agree with the one income family, because you can double. You can double. Yours can double. So, you know, and it's, man.
But I can't believe it's women today that just want to be a housewife.
Yeah.
And I'm
And,
like,
and so that's the more traditional.
I'm thinking, is that what they mother was teaching them growing up, teaching their daughters that, or the father maybe housewife, they mama, and like you don't
How
get
to
a
be an
man and let.
expert housewife.
Can I
Yeah,
say
I mean,
something? Can I say something? Can I ask a question?
hmm
What is the definition of a housewife?
Bars. Let's go.
sitting home and taking care of the house,
I mean, what does that consist of?
cleaning,
Mm.
cooking,
What
washing
else?
clothes, folding clothes,
Mm.
shopping.
Educating.
But
Educate. Wait,
can
whoa,
I
whoa,
say
whoa, whoa.
something
That don't
too?
always count. That don't
Can I
always
say
count.
that
No,
something
because
too
it
though? Can't that
well,
always count for whatever situation you're in, if it's housewife or not housewife? You still have to take care of
Oh,
those necessities.
those have to be done
no,
anyway.
I
no, because
agree.
A lot of
no,
those have to
because
be done. Some people don't take care of them accordingly in certain time frames. Some people might help them take
mhm,
care of, but you know, I mean, like if you're gonna say how well housewife is somebody who gonna sit at home and tutor and teach some kids. Somebody gonna take them kids to
That's why I
school
said
and not
educating.
take them home and not take them to a public school. They're gonna stay at home when Mom and Dukes is teaching, let her raise them and put the word how they supposed to be for that household.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's
I
how it
think
no.
so.
was.
I
Well,
think
see,
so.
wait a
If you're
minute
going
now. Now, see, like
because
today,
that's where
you
the
do it.
label comes in at. Because that's where
Yeah,
the label comes in at. And if you
yeah.
want to be this housewife, anything that you just said, cook, clean, and you have the necessary things. But if you're the housewife, that means you got kids. That means you got to teach them. You got to teach them the ABCs. You got to teach them how to respect the world when they step into it. You got to teach them how to learn and read certain things. And that you are their teacher.
Mm.
Okay, wait a minute.
Okay,
Hold
but
up.
wait,
COVID showed.
let Cookie
Hold up.
respond.
My bad.
Hold up.
Okay.
You
I
good?
Sorry.
You
was
good? Look.
married. I was no housewife. We did all
Mhm.
that together. We chipped in and did the housework, the cooking, the teaching the kids, the private schools, dropping them off, picking them up. We did that
Mm.
together with and still had two incomes coming in. So today you have it. It's basically you gotta have two households. I mean, the housing is so expensive. So that means the husband gonna have to go out here and work two jobs, two full-time jobs that take care of a wife that want to sit home with the kids.
Or come up
Well,
with a
you
way
can
to
do
make
it
a
together.
or come
So
up with a way.
it's just
You know
about
what I say?
yeah, it's about making it work
Okay.
together.
Okay,
I cause
because we can say we
uh-huh.
make it work together, right? Tell me, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
We can make it work together, right? We both
Mhm.
making enough of money to make sure these kids get up out of here and we can top them up and take care and do what we got to do to make our money to take care of that. But in that process, they lose nutrients. They forget what it takes for a neighborhood to raise a community or certain kind of households to raise community because it takes and I look at it, I'm saying this because I'm saying this, yeah, we lived together as high as hell to live out here by yourself and shit. My grandma told me that when I first came down here. The only thing that's changing is the price and value of things.
That's right.
And
That's why I
things
take two
is going
incomes.
up. Like services are the same things that you was paying for 10 years ago is triple the price of it now.
Yeah.
And nothing changed in it. The service has got worse in it. But they
Mhm.
able to charge you more
Right.
The
because of
service
where
has gotten worse.
the
Say you can
state
say
where
that again.
to the state where the money is at. So where the state and the money is at, you can't let it compromise for where the household is at and for where the kingdom is supposed to be and how you supposed to hold this shit down. We're supposed to hold it down, regardless on any given goddamn times. Sometimes you gotta work a little bit harder, you
And see,
know, to be the man, to
well,
be the
no,
man. And I get
okay.
it.
I
I,
disagree.
It's
I
not
I
disagree with that.
me.
Wait a
no,
minute. I disagree with that because I feel like my man, my husband, shouldn't have to go out here and work two jobs to take care of his home when I'm able-bodied to work. And
not,
then
Yeah.
where do that leave the man having time to spend with me, his wife, and his children? If he out here, when he come home, only thing he gonna do one, just eat and go to bed, take a shower and go to
Okay.
bed.
Okay. We have a
Where is the
comment
fun
from
coming in?
Dion. Dion said, "Housewives don't just sit at home."
no, they get educations. They learn things to know that if shit hit the fan for the husband, they got their back.
Something good.
And that's what you're
Nobody
supposed
saying
to
this.
do. That's why you
Wait,
Oh,
teach
my
the
chest
kids.
hurts. Stop.
wait,
No.
I just
Danny.
said,
Go to bed.
My
my
Go to bed,
bad,
Mr.
y'all. My
Rose.
See,
bad.
Go
My
I
to
don't
bad.
even.
bed.
If I love my man, I
My
won't want him
bad.
out
I'm
there
just
working
saying.
himself to death like that. when I can go out there and bring in income like just as well as he can, and so that we
Mhm.
still can spend that quality time together.
Okay, Dion is in the building.
What? We got Dion in the building. Y'all give
I
it.
say, you know what? Let me just jump on this.
Ah,
Happy birthday, Boombox.
thank you. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Look at you. Look at you. Doing the Lord's work on your birthday. Praise God.
Right. Amen. Amen.
Okay, let the church say amen. So, yes, I have thoughts and
Amen.
feelings. I have thoughts and feelings. Okay. So, just first of all, thank you so much for putting me on, Mr. Link and Miss Boombox. And shout out to
Hey,
everybody
what's
on the
up,
panel
lady?
tonight, on this evening.
Yep,
So,
yep.
my thoughts and feelings, because I am a stay at home wife slash mother.
Okay.
And honestly, it was a transition because I worked since the age of 14. And I mean, granted, I think anybody that had working papers or lived in the inner city, once you got them working papers, is a wrap. You working till forever. And really and truly, I didn't foresee that to be my portion for the rest of my life. I didn't see myself working for the man, until the age of 65. I always had an entrepreneurial spirit, always been a creative. So I foresaw that happening at some point. But growing up, obviously, we are programmed to you get a job, whether that is, technical, career based, you go to college, you get your degree, you get some type of credentials, you get a good job, city job, whatever it is, you get your pension and you hang it up. And that's not the case for everybody. And not only that, for women, I feel like we have a lot of pressure on just getting out and going, getting, thriving, all the things. So the thought or the desire to be a stay at home mother is so looked down upon. And when I made the transition from being in the workforce to being at home, I had a lot of guilt. I was very torn. I was very um discontent at times. And really and truly, that transition happened when me and my family moved. And it was like going to Trader Joe's at 11 o'clock in the afternoon, and all you see is our pale sisters walking around with their 2-month-old big head babies, and they looking at me like, what are you doing here? where who are you the nanny for? And it's crazy because why is that such a thing for us as Black women, where being a stay-at-home mother, being a homemaker is, oh my gosh, that's all you do? Oh, what else do you do? You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that is such a terrible narrative that we put on each other, because Becky, Karen, Stephanie, and all of them are not doing that to each other. So to say, okay, well, you're able-bodied, so why aren't you going to work? Who says you're not working? What you're doing for your family is work. When you're making sure that your family is eating correctly, not going to McDonald's or going to Bojangles every other day, when you're making sure that the bills are paid on time because you're also dealing with money management, when you're also making sure that when there's an emergency with your kids, you don't have to go and answer to somebody in order to get off work. You can pick up your kid and make sure that they go to the doctor with no problem. I relieve stress for my husband every single day. So I work every single day. I make sure that he comes home and he's straight. He ain't got to worry about nothing. So it's not just a cooking and cleaning situation. You know what I'm saying? It's you maintaining a household, and that's a 365, 7 day a week, 6 situation. You know what I'm saying? The only time my day is over is when I go to sleep. I gotta make sure my son is good spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally. You know what I'm saying? So it's not, I feel like we put so much pressure on our sisters to go out and get just like your man do, because y'all need two incomes. I mean, granted, I know everybody's situation is not the same. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's finances are not the same where, okay, to some degree that's considered a luxury. But that's what our grandfathers were doing. And granted, it was a different time. I'm talking a lot. I just
No,
realized.
do your thing. Do your thing. We listening. We hearing you out.
Wait a minute. I'm talking a lot.
Do your thing out here. Keep going. Keep
Yeah,
going.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
You got the
But you know what
floor.
I'm saying? Like our grandfathers, our great grandfathers, this is the lifestyle that they had our grandmothers, our great aunts living. And there was no shame in it. There was no guilt in it. So why in the year of our Lord 2024 are we making our sisters feel like, oh, well, you need to get up and go. What you doing? That's when Becky and Moon Chong Lee and all them, they walking around Trader Joe's. They go to the spa. You feel me?
Let
On a
me tell you something.
Tuesday.
Can I say something? I hate to cut you off, but you said
No,
everything that I was
you
trying to
got it,
say.
brother. You got it.
You said everything I was trying to say. That's because you're gonna define it and say what a housewife is and what a wife is and that's the definition of it. You're supposed to make sure that hey, if you're not home you're getting education together, you're making sure the kids are taken care of, all the other little stuff is taken care of, regardless of a little bit, a few hours. I know you don't want nobody to work as much as they work, but you don't have to work as much as you work if all the little things are taken care of.
But see but what
I
I'm
believe
saying
I
is
believe the little
that
small things is taken care of, and I think you understand that fact.
wait a minute, but this is what I'm saying. Two
Come on, say it.
working parents can do the same thing, but they can do it together. I mean that cleaning the
That is a
house,
fact.
they can do together. Cooking, they can do together. That's what a lot of them doing now. Teaching the kids. I mean, me and my husband used to have the kids. We had a classroom set up in the house. We got together with the kids. We had a blackboard and everything, and it was fun doing it as a family instead of me doing it by myself.
Teacher.
It was
Well, and
enjoyable.
well, I will,
It made us have a closer bond with one another, and
all
the kids
of that
enjoyed
could be
it.
two at the same time for sure. But it's
Mhm.
not to say that just because that works for you and yours, which is amazing. That's a beautiful thing. That's not to say that those things are not happening in other people's households where even though
Right.
okay it could be predominantly the stay-at-home mother or the stay-at-home wife that is spending more time, and technically I feel like every woman that I know, married or not, that has kids and they're with their spouse or their domestic partner, the consensus is the mothers are the main caretakers, and that is our role regardless anyway. We're the nurturers.
Mhm.
So with that being said, we're spending more time with our kids hands down more than the
You
fathers
know
do.
what? Don't get me wrong. I don't have nothing against housewives now.
No,
I
and
really
I
don't.
don't think that
And
you
but I'm
do.
just saying, yeah, I'm just saying, I don't I just don't feel like it's a fair to a man to go out here and work two jobs if he have
but
to
then but
take
then
care
that's
of home. But I'm just
but
saying, I mean, your husband might just have one, but some people ain't as fortunate to have
Mm.
this 6 figure a year where they can stay, the wife can stay home, take care of the kids, and then they pay all the bills. She manage the money. That's that world right there is maybe about 10% in black women because it's hard for a black man to really get ahead because they always been pushed that back. And it's quicker for a black woman to get ahead than it is a black man today. And them are
well, I
facts.
definitely first
So,
want to.
that's why I say it's not fair if to a man, and it won't even be fair to me because I love spending time with my significant other. And if I can't have time with my other half, and then I'm not a happy wife. I'm not a happy
So
wife because
two so
I
two
like
things
quality
that I want.
time.
So two things that you mentioned that I Oh Lord.
I'm
Two
so
things that
sorry.
you mentioned. Two things that you mentioned that I did want to touch on was concerning the fairness. Because
Mhm.
I think again that goes into our social conditioning as Black people to be on to have like a scale where we're looking on what's fair and what's not. So if you know I'm a believer, so I'm gonna start there. So when God made Adam and Eve, he gave Adam a job. He had a job. His job was to tend the garden and work from the sweat of his brow, name all the animals, figure it out with what plant's going to be called what, et cetera, et cetera. And Eve, what did she do? What were the she had to make sure that Adam was good, he was taken care of, he was eating, he was able to rest with his helpmeet because that's what she was. And when they had children, she took care of the children. I'm pretty sure Adam wasn't like, oh man, why you not out here working the fields too? Like, my back hurt. Like, no, we're conditioned as Black people to feel like something has to be a hierarchy of who's doing what, and like it's not a back and forth type of thing. And I feel like we've conditioned ourselves to think that way. There's several reasons. I don't want to get into it, but we've conditioned ourselves to be that way. And then
Well,
secondly,
it's not. It's okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
the second part that you touched on also was about spending time with your mate. I think when it comes to time management, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, regardless if two people are working or not, you're going to have to make time for one another. So, and then you add children to the mix. That's another, I don't want to call it an obstacle, but it's another part of your relationship that
Yeah.
changes. You know what I'm saying? Where now you have to divvy up your time. So you compound trying to manage your time with just your job and his job, and then your children or child, their schedule, because they got to go to school, they may have after school stuff, whatever the case may be. How's that going to work? And I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's always going to end up being about time management.
It's
So
definitely about time
there's so
Okay.
management.
many parts of it where we have to consider. And it's not to say even now, you know what I'm saying, for myself, there be times I'm tired. I had so many things going on for the day. My husband gets home and I want to chill just as much as he wants to chill. But I still got to make sure everybody eats, everybody's straight, do the nighttime routine, do the homework, et cetera, et cetera. And then we have to be intentional on making time with one another. So
Mhm.
that comes with it, regardless if there's two incomes or not. And I want us to also be very careful when we even mention percentages and statistics, because I'm very much like, if we ain't got the numbers, like let's leave it alone. Because Black men do make they're in the middle class. They're making a substantial amount of money. And that is statistically correct. So it's not to say that they can't, or they're at the bottom of the barrel. Technically, Black women are still at the bottom. So
But they
if we
higher than
going through,
Black men.
they're not. But we achieve more, but we're not
That's make
higher
them higher.
as far
Yeah. I
as,
mean, well, that's what I'm saying. They
well, of course,
they can
but
go
that's a
out and
different
make
type of
more
conversation.
money. Yeah. Okay. But like when I say fairness, I'm not just talking about fairness to him. I'm talking about fairness to me too. Because if I
Mm.
want to spend quality time with my man and he too tired to do it, then I'm upset. But I'm gonna let him get his rest. But I'm upset. I'm disappointed. So when something is not working, I have to figure out how can I make this work better where we can have more quality time together. He's not so tired all the time. It ain't about just me. And for us, going back into biblical
In the
time,
household,
going back
y'all
into
gonna be
biblical
doing
time, it was no such thing as money. Money came from man selling the land. That's when women had to start working to help that man out because everything became money, 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 money. So it's just. I mean,
But I still,
like I said, I don't knock
my question, I do have a
housewives.
question for you.
If every woman can be a housewife, it'd be lovely. With a man, sh- I would be a housewife if my man can make enough money to where it's no problem going on a vacation when we want wherever we want to go. There's no issue. No issue with, okay, we got to stretch the money here and do this, and I don't want no money issues. So if a man can take if I be a housewife, he has to make enough money for me to do everything that I likes to do. I
But
don't
that
want,
doesn't
well,
necessarily
we got to live off
mean,
this budget. I don't want, if my kids say, okay, I want to go to Disney World, and oh, we don't have the money to go. But yeah, if been a
What you gonna
housewife and I'm working,
teach?
then we can go. We'll be able to go. If he can pay all the bills with his money, then I can take all the money with all my money and do pleasurable things with the family.
okay, but
That's all I'm saying.
Miss Cookie, even
Okay.
with that being said,
Hmm.
that doesn't mean just because you're a housewife that there's no way of making money.
I
So
ain't say that.
that's
Okay.
that's when you gotta have a different type of spirit. You gotta have a hustler spirit. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have that side hustler mentality, and that's something that fortunately that's what I do. So I have
Okay. See,
skills
that's a
and
different
other things
story.
that
Yeah. So you
Google
you
mind
you
your
do have a
business.
little side business going on. It ain't that you're not bringing in any income, but you are. So
Right,
that's a big difference.
but getting up and going to a job every day 9 to 5 is not
You
what
don't
I
wh-
any
you
longer
don't
want to
have
do.
to have at one point I'm looking at by next year, I'm gonna be sitting at home running a business, but I ain't got to do too much, but and have income coming in. So I want, it's just like I'm striving out here for a purpose. And my
Right.
purpose is to one day I'm gonna be sleeping and my money's still gonna be going into my banking account and my
And I
husband
think
still be
I think
working.
that's
And so
any type of
yeah,
couple
but
gonna have that type of thought where even
right.
if it's a business venture that you can do together, you know what I'm saying, and
Hmm.
still the husband has a conventional job, cool. But then the wife is there to be able to support that vision and make sure like,
Hmm.
okay, well if you have a business venture that you want to get off the ground, let me see how I can, make that snap, crackle, and pop,
That's
and do
right.
what I need to do for you. Because
Hmm.
I mean, ideally, it's supposed to be for y'all. It's for us.
Right.
It's for the family.
For us. That's
And if
right.
she has a vision of a business, the same could be said. But at least there's one person there that has the freedom to do the running around, to do the ripping and run, and make sure that the kids are straight and gotta do what they gotta do, and the house is straight. You you can't. It will be so much stress if you have two people sitting and making sure that they both have a 9 to 5 conventional job and have side hustles going on and have kids. But my point, really and truly, what I want to put out there is why is it that us as Black people, as Black families, put so much pressure on ourselves that, or even the guilt of, oh, well, being a stay at home wife is so looked down upon.
I
Like,
don't look
you
I
don't,
down
don't
upon
look
it.
down upon
I
it.
don't. No, I don't.
no, I'm not
Like I
saying you
said,
ladies do, but
oh
I
yeah,
feel
watch
like
if
that
some
is
people
a
do it.
thing
I
for
never
sure.
heard that. I
I think
never heard
that
that.
is mostly frowned upon for men because in a lot of cases they're looking for a certain type of helpmate in their realm is emotionally and financially. And so in a lot of cases, and this is what I'm seeing as far as um the guys talking online, podcasting and things of that nature. But a lot of them are saying like we need that 50-50 because of how the economy is going.
But then
And
I feel like that's kind of contradictory if you're going to be like, oh, you want this type of woman where, oh, your degrees don't matter, how many, what your status is at your career doesn't matter because, you know, we want to be the providers, and then yet you're going to have that you're going to have the rebuttal also of you should be coming with emotional submission and what's in your pockets. Like, why you asking what's in my wallet? Like, what?
I mean,
Well, you know what?
and there
It's
is
just a preference that people want. Okay, you might have a man say, "I don't want a housewife," but that don't mean that he look down upon a housewife. He
Right.
probably looking at, okay, I need a woman that want to build something with me, but she has to bring in some income for us to do it. And I don't
Yeah.
see no problem with that. I mean,
well,
but then
yeah.
if a man want a housewife, he gonna have to make sure he got the funds to take care of that house and her and the children.
Right.
Mhm.
It's all
So
about the
it's
setup.
just their preference, yeah. What a
Yeah.
person
So
want. It ain't so much of them putting down a housewife. They just can't afford a housewife.
right. And I
That's
think
the
it's so many
difference.
levels to this. So like the
Right.
biggest level to it
Hmm.
is the ableness of the person to be able to, afford to be able to have, a housewife. And as GMT
And
is
another thing
saying,
too, if a if a
What?
because the
if a
average
woman
man makes
wants,
51K, he needs the 50-50. And see the
And that's
percentages
true.
thing again, um,
oh, wait a minute,
the percentages
I
thing
lost it.
again,
Oh shoot, my phone.
I look at it like, yeah,
In
that's
most cases, we know it's not 50-50.
yeah,
Okay. We
yeah.
know
Yeah.
that.
But also like when you're talking about the financial situation, like you said, 51K, but sometimes the man just can't afford that, and just any little help other than that. Because like once again, Dion, you said time management. Time management can still come in the form of both doing what they need to do, jump in, make the money, come back, spend time together, spend time with the kid equally. And that might be some people's lifestyles. Your lifestyle is different. And like Cookie was saying, it works for you. I think a lot of this is up in the air when people start saying which one is better than the other. It's only better than the other when it works for your situation.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. It depends on your
But
relationship.
hold on, boom. But
Yeah.
it can't be plastic work for your situation. It can't be where, it looks good, but it really isn't good. I have a friend where it was looking good. You had a housewife, and not saying this is everybody's situation, but next thing you know, when the bills started crumbling down, she started looking at him like, "What? Wow, I didn't know we was this far in debt." As if you were going to change the situation, because if you could, you would. Because the
Mhm.
thing is, you're handling all the paperwork. You're seeing, like you said, the bills coming in. How do you not know? These are the questions that I have. And then sometimes, so the man has to still play two people because he got to do the work. And then for some people, he got to make sure the work get done too, paperwork wise, or
Hmm.
everything's going to be messed up. And then guess what? Society looks at that male. They point at him like this and they say, "It's your fault, man. You were supposed to be the leader. Yeah, you gave him a job to do at home, but you were supposed to still oversee that." So no matter what, it gets into this conundrum where it's bad for the
But
male all the
see,
way around.
but you
I
know what?
feel like
Listen. You know what? If a woman want to be say if I wanted to be a housewife and I'm looking for this man to make me a housewife, I'm not gonna just look at what his income is now. I want to look at what potentials he have. What kind of do he have anything that where we can start a business and I help him start his business. And then
That's
once
if
the
they
business
business
gets
mind.
started, then I can be that housewife and I can manage the books and everything and take
Mhm.
care of the kids. I'm managing, I'm talking about like doing and all that, sitting home doing that. That's working still, but I still feel like I'm being a housewife because I can get up in my pajamas and do that. I can just relaxing doing that. I don't have to, be clocking in on somebody's clock, but I still feel like I'm a housewife even though I am working. So when women, if they want to be a housewife, they have to look at that man who they dating, and instead of saying you have to get a better job so I can be a housewife, you got to make more money so I can be a housewife. No, sit down and talk. Y'all come up with a plan to start a business. Let him run a business, and you sit home. I mean, I don't have anything against housewives, and I
And
never heard it. I never talked to nobody that put down housewives either. So I
right.
don't know. I
But
don't
but
know about that part.
it's not so much that portion of necessarily hearing about it within social circles. I
Hmm.
think it's something that I personally have heard even before I became a housewife, and probably even shared it to some extent of, okay, well, what does a housewife do? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you really do? The questions of that is, or even the thought of it's not really much of anything. The worth of it. What is it? You know what I'm saying? So that's something I've heard, and like I've said, probably have shared a thought process of that as well. But my thing is, it's more, you're not hearing these type of conversations, even in more of different platforms, like settings like this, panels, or even other people's panels where they're just talking about it generally. I listen to a lot of podcasts separately from YouTube, and there's so many mom podcasts where it's like being a housewife, or even being a mother, being a single mother, etc. The different titles that come with it. It's like the housewife or the stay-at-home mom is looked down upon, like, you're not really working. What are you really doing? But it's more so within that I've seen within
the
the
Black
Black
community.
community. So our counterparts are
Yes,
not
I will
having
say-
those conversations to the degree that we have it, where it's like we have to sit down and dissect what a housewife is, what a stay-at-home mom is, what else do you need to be doing. It's so many, you know, parts of it where we're dissecting and really trying to get to the root of it, where our counterparts not doing that. Our counterparts, that's just comes naturally. Like, okay, you go to college, you find your love, you get married, you pop out 2 to 3 kids, you get your little house in the picket fence. He goes, you know, get his little job, and he doing what he do, and you're doing everything else, and you're on the PTA, and you're doing stuff at church, and you have all these other hats that you wear, and it's okay. But for us, it's like, it's not enough. You know what I'm saying? And we have to
I
come
don't
up
know.
with all these reasons why.
I've done the housewife. I've even homeschooled my kids. So, you know, for me, it was good while the kids were home. I was good. They were, but it still is. It is a lot of work as a housewife. But financially, I like making my own.
Man,
And so
we had an argument about this.
yeah.
Okay, well, be careful. We don't want to be dredging up no old stuff now.
Well, no. I mean, we good. We good.
We good on it. We don't
It's
talk
just
about it
it's just a conversation, but yeah, I mean, you know, because that's just what it is. So, like I say, it's whatever works for your household, whatever works for your relationship. As far as a lot of people in the Black community frowning upon it, I would say, yeah, in a sense of not understanding, you know, what all entails with a housewife. Because they're mostly looking at it from the financial standpoint. 2 incomes are greater than 1, you know, and I think that's where, you know, most of the confusion comes in with the situation of being a housewife. Not looking at the other, you know, nurturing aspects, or, you know, cooking having dinner at a certain time and all of that.
Right.
My thought when it comes to the financial part is it only comes into play when people don't know how to manage their money. Because you can live comfortably depending on where you live with $50,000. Then
hold on real quick though. What kind of job is that we're looking at?
I'm not even gonna say what type of job it is. I'm just talking about depending on where you live, you can be okay. I'm not saying you're not balling. And that's the part of it.
50,000?
50,000 ain't balling at all. It's
not. And that's the thing. You got to make sure you live within your means. So you can still sit down and have 2 people go to work and have the equivalent to $100,000 to maybe $120,000 and still be broke because of poor money management.
Yeah.
So
Imagine
the
that's
only
big.
time I
But
feel
I'm
like
gonna
that
live in a nice
conversation part
neighborhood.
of finances come in is because you're not managing your money properly. So even if you have one person in a 2-family household going to work and having an income, if you're not managing that money right and you still in a 6-figure financial bracket, you still could be messed up in the game. So it's not even all about that. It's about what you're doing with the money that you make.
A
Yeah.
person told me a long time ago, it's not about how much you make, it's about what you do with what you make. And that was the bottom line. I remember somebody told me that a long time ago.
Yeah, it's definitely what
It's
you
not
do with
about how
what you
much you
make,
make,
but some
it's about
people
what you do
aren't.
with what you make. Because when
Some
people get out of their bracket and think they're making more money, they want to have new needs.
It's not even
Get
that.
new
Some people
needs
don't make
and live
that
in
money,
different
Danny.
brackets.
Some people
And
aren't making 50K, Danny.
I mean, 50. Okay, let's just say
Some people
50K.
aren't making.
that's
Some
It's
people
low.
barely
still
making 30K.
okay, right? But let's say 50K.
Mhm.
It still depends on the dynamics of your home. Are there
Situation,
Right.
children? Are there children in the
stand in
home?
your
Are
means.
there children outside of the home that you have to take care of?
Stand in your
And where you
means.
live, definitely
And
where
Where
you
you
your
live.
live definitely is a
demographics.
big one. Definitely,
Yes,
that's a
your
huge
demographics
one.
definitely
Stand in your
matter.
And then your
means.
career path is also another thing. Like, if you a restaurant type dude, you can't do that. That's not gonna
No,
happen. I don't even care
no.
if you the
It's
manager.
stand in your means. Everything boils
Right.
down to stand in your means. You stand what your budget is, and people get it confused because people say, "Hey, well, this year I made $200,000 for the last
Mm-hmm.
2 years." So now you
Right.
start spending money like you're in $200,000 bracket and category, and now you're in the $200,000 bracket and category, paying $200,000, almost $3,000 rent, knowing you've been comfortable paying $900, $1,200 rent for a long time, and you jumped out of that bracket. Now you can't keep up with the maintenance
Choosing
and what
your
it takes
expenses.
to stay in
Yeah.
that circle. And when you get into that circle, it's hard to stay into a certain bracket because people get out of their means and forget about what it took for them to get in all the small pieces that took it. They get to a place, oh, I want bigger, oh, I want more, I need this. Don't understand that comes with a different price tag.
And
You
that's
know,
why
you can
I
be
call this the relationship check engine light, because you got to know what's going to set that check engine light on. Everybody could be fine until a financial situation pops up.
until
Everybody
I
could be
mean, I'm
fine
just saying,
until
either
somebody
way,
that's
pulls
the
it out of
biggest
their
thing about a
element.
lot of relationships
okay,
too.
but still, either way it go. When you start out at 200,000 and it change or whatever, and it dwindles to 50,000, and which to me 50,000 is not. No,
It's not
but
ideal for nobody now.
50,000 is really,
It's
really
Yeah.
not
struggling
ideal for
nowadays. I'm
nobody
not
right
gonna
now.
hold you.
it's right now in our demographics. Let's just
Yeah.
Oh,
in our
definitely.
yeah that
You
it's
can't live in Charlotte and be making $50,000 with kids and all that.
Yeah, it
You could
went
be
up.
really struggling for real.
Now
So it
you
definitely
used to
depends
be
on where you
good.
live. If you're in a more rural area,
You
if
might
you're
have a
in some
chance.
areas of the Midwest, it could be okay. But
Right.
a majority of Americans are gonna have a rough time with that particular salary with a family.
but
But with that being said, too,
if
with that
two are
being
making
said,
50,000, then you got
And
something that kind
managing,
of help balance you out.
managing their
management,
money well. And
management,
yes, I
management.
agree. 100,000 is not a lot either.
It's
It's
not.
about management. It's about management.
Yeah, whatever you have, you need to manage it.
It's not about
20,
management. Understanding what you got.
100,
Stand in
200.
your means.
Yeah, until
And
you
people
get to
get
that
out of
next
their
level, you definitely
means.
have to manage it.
Know what you can and cannot do. You don't have to get that new car. You ain't got to go on that trip. You ain't got to be flossing for the gram and all of that. You can't. It ain't about that. And that's that's a whole nother conversation because we good for that. We good for trying to stunt on people
But then
and then
wonder
mess
why you ain't got
around.
nothing. Wonder why you ain't
Exactly.
got nothing.
It's like, come on, man. Like, pick a struggle. Like, you can't be driving a 2024 new vehicle and
You renting.
you on food stamps. Like, I'm gonna need you to figure and you on
You
Section 8.
renting, like Danny said,
Like,
you
cut it
renting.
out.
Not even the food stamps, because I mean, shoot, rent
Hey,
your
hey,
own, and I
Listen,
take
see,
I
those.
want
I ain't
some
gonna
I
food.
hold
like
you,
food stamps. I'm
man,
like,
and
man,
can't get
that's
them.
But I'm
crazy.
saying
Man, if
I
I
ain't
could,
driving
I'd be
around
doing
no
it.
brand new car
You take
neither.
the
You know what I mean?
Man,
Like, let's be
listen,
for
Right.
real.
For real.
you
listen,
get out of
listen,
your means and
people.
think you bigger than what you are, and you
You
can't
want to
do
buy Gucci,
something.
Prada, and Louis, but you on Section 8. Like,
You
for
need
real?
Yeah,
Levi. You
and
need
that's a whole
Levi
nother
Old Navy.
conversation. That's
You
a whole nother
understand? Levi
conversation
Old Navy.
because
You want to jump to
the
the grocery
fact that
store.
people have to wear stuff, the fact that people have to wear stuff to make their self-worth go up. Like I could wear blank clothes all day and feel the same way as if it said Louis or Gucci. Really, I feel like sometimes I don't like what your name is. It diminishes me. you know, it takes me down a notch.
Well, I don't want to feel. Sometimes I don't want to feel like wearing that bumps my status up.
Right, makes you who you are.
Yeah, like no, I'm me all day, baby.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, let me finish off a little bit of this video. I promise I'm gonna try not to stop too much.
Is not what you're leading with in your relationships with men is love, support, nurturing, and respect. This is why your husband is now pulling away, because in the beginning you gave him those things. But as you got into the relationship, you got bitter, you got resentful, you start seeing his flaws, start counting that against him, you start measuring him against other men, and now you're pulling back on the love, the affection, and the nurture.
All right, so have y'all seen that before? Have any of y'all been through that before? Have any of y'all experienced that before?
Yes.
Okay.
Danny said yes too.
Oh, Danny said yes too? Oh.
No, he.
Danny saying something,
Been there,
but his
done
mic not
that,
on.
though.
Been there, done that?
Yeah, you know, it happens.
It
Yeah.
does. It happens.
It does,
Sure.
you know. What
I
you
mean,
gonna do
Yeah.
about it?
relationships are going to have their ebbs and flows. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to come regardless. But I think it's always boils down to having good communication and making sure that your needs may not have the understanding that your needs may not always be met, but communicate them to your spouse and letting them know, and vice versa. Like, I think the one thing that I feel that men do have a hard time is being vulnerable and expressing their needs. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that we as
Not
women are not
mine.
guilty of sharing
Yeah,
them.
because I was about
Oh
to say.
Lord.
But let me tell you,
But I feel
what I
like
have a hard
in a
time with,
general sense, they don't want to be vulnerable. They don't want to say, "Hey, I need some affection," or "Hey, I miss you." So, you know what I'm saying, let's spend time. Like, you've been hanging out with your girlfriends or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? I think it's
getting all
very
that.
you gotta communicate. You gotta communicate your needs, and unexpressed expectations is really going to be to me is the root of a lot of demises for relationships, because we expect our spouses to know what we want, but we and expect to know what we want, and we don't express them. So
Mind
you're
tricks.
always going to end up in a space of disappointment that can turn into resentment, that turns into coldness. Now you're two ships in the night, and ain't nobody got time for that.
I also think that women need to learn how to listen to a male, because a male's communication is different than what they're used to hearing from their female
counterparts.
Yeah, because when a man sometimes is speaking, y'all hear us, but somehow it formulates, like, does some weird stuff and comes out a different way. Like, I think us not saying we need help more, or just saying that we need something is something that's foreign to y'all. So y'all kind of just be like, yeah, you joking, that's a joke, or something like that.
Maybe.
Just a lot of
I
communication
think
gets
delivery
lost
is
in
really
translation.
important. I think delivery is important on both sides. And that's where, you gotta know your person. Like, you gotta know how they can receive information and how to deliver it, because everything is not going to land just because you have the intention of how you want to say something. Your intention and how you say it can be two different things. So I think we just have to be cognizant of that as well.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That does make a lot of sense.
Well, I mean,
but how long do you think that should take for you to kind of learn, what is it, your love language, communication language?
That's gonna definitely be
That takes
marriage supposed to be
time.
lifelong. That's going to be lifelong because people change. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I can attest that I've changed. I've changed in how I deliver my messages. I've changed in the way I receive my messages from my spouse because I had to learn some things about myself. Like as much as I'm, before I was definitely well, technically I am still a self-proclaimed thug. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to be crying and all that.
What?
I don't like to be
Oh,
crying
now
and
you
all
got a
that.
sweat on here.
I'm a
That's
self-proclaimed thug. I
crazy.
am. However, I'm also I'm also a flower. I say it all the time. I'm a delicate flower. And those that know me, like my husband, knows that, okay, she when she says certain things, okay, I hear her. I hear what she's saying. I be like, it could be at the tone of my voice. It could be, how even the way things that I need to express them and things that I need, I've realized it can't be like, oh man, da da da. It's got to be, babe, I would really appreciate
Hey,
if you
that is
I'm telling
correct.
you,
There
that
you go.
definitely makes a
There
huge
we go.
it
difference.
makes
Hold
a big
on.
I can
difference.
attest
Hold
to
on.
that.
Hold
I've
on.
really seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it. The testimony is real. Like, for real. So, change
Woo.
works. Prayer changes things. Prayer changes things. I
Man.
will say that because
Mhm.
that old saying where you say you could catch more flies with honey than you could do with vinegar. That's real. It really is. And I've seen it. I've seen it work and it's not even because I think we got to be careful too, is make it not sound like it's manipulative. But when your intention is for, okay, I need my spouse to hear me and I also want to be kind because that's the type of person you are, because you love them, you care for them, it's coming from a genuine place, and you want your message not to fall on deaf ears. And men, when they hear all of that, they gonna close them ears all the way up and they gonna keep it moving and you gonna be mad.
Man, I'm
So,
telling you.
Yeah.
Because
you know,
it hurts for us to hear that. All that it's like those chihuahuas that's standing at the top of the stairs. And it
wow,
ain't gonna
not
do
chihuahuas.
nothing. It's just chewing you up. I'm gonna tell y'all exactly what we hear when y'all do that. I know y'all hear it.
Wow.
Y'all heard that.
Wow.
That's exactly what we hear. We don't hear anything. If we hear anything, you know.
Well, again, you got to keep saying it until it's heard.
It's the way you say it, like she said, the way
Mhm.
that you deliver it, just like a good punchline in a
Well,
great
I
rap
already
song.
I said that earlier in the chat. I mean, in the show.
Okay. Did I ignore you?
That your delivery definitely has to be. What did you ask me?
I didn't ask you anything. Go
Oh,
ahead.
that was Danny
Oh,
talking.
you was crushing it. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying, your delivery, it definitely has to be delivered in the manner of knowing your spouse and knowing how your spouse is going to be able to receive it. But that also does take time. It takes time in knowing how your spouse responds to certain things.
I feel like we got to want to know, though. That's the major key. You got to want to know how to talk to them. If you just feel like the way I talk is just fine, then it's not gonna work. Like, find out how to
You
talk
gotta
to
be
your spouse.
receptive to it too. Like, I think the part of it is really letting down your guard and being receptive, because if you're always on the defense, you're always gonna be offended.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're just like, listen, where it's coming from is a genuine play. I gotta hear this person out. If they're saying, hey, that was a little harsh how you said that. Like, I'm not gonna hold you up. I can't stand hearing the word aggressive. Like, don't do that. Don't do it. Don't tell me all the way to calm down. I feel like it's like the anti words for me. However, different
Oh, you
words
being
that have,
aggressive or calm
yeah,
down.
like, oh, you being aggressive. Wait a minute. Don't
Wow.
misconstrue my passion for aggression. But I could understand
Say
once
it.
I sit down and say, hey, okay, maybe I did have a little extra, stank juice on the way I said XYZ. Let me
Oh, so you
chill.
go back to it and,
So you
and
go back?
bring it back. You
Sometimes
remix
I'll go
it.
back. Sometimes and
That's
that's
Oh,
not
nice.
what I'm
oh, you
saying.
deserve
No,
That's
it's
that.
all
nice.
about
Not
correcting
be
yourself.
defensive
When
and
you know
not,
you're wrong, you're wrong.
When
yeah.
you're wrong, right?
You
When
may
you know
not
you're
know you're
But
wrong, you're
wrong, but the
but you
fact
wrong.
that
I was
your
just gonna
spouse
say.
said something, you gotta try to take heed to it a little bit and be like, you know what?
How long does it take for you to circle back once you figure out you might have been wrong?
It depends.
Look at that. You see how her
Like
head turned to the left?
it
Don't kill her
depends
now.
because if I'm really in my feelings, it may take a little bit, but I really try
Oh,
to
you
course
know
correct pretty
what?
quickly. I
Okay,
really try to.
That's good.
that's
I
good.
try, or I'll come
No, I'm
back.
saying that's good. I mean, because for me, sometimes, like I say, in a heated debate,
She's taking off. Blast off. Blast me off. It's over.
no,
Well, she a fire sign. So I get it, girl. We
but at the
fire. We
same
don't,
time, it
get
takes
a
a
little
while
hot
for
out in
me to
there.
calm down and go back and reassess the conversation. And but sometimes it's more so just like, look, you not hearing what I'm trying to tell you, and that is very frustrating for me sometimes. So it's like I get more frustrated feeling like I'm not being heard.
The thing is, what I look at it too is you can't have two tick tick boom type of people, and
we got two
I
ticks.
mean, and that's the thing. Like, I mean, me and my spouse, we used to be tick tick boom, and it did not work, and nobody was hearing each other, and that's when it was like we had to really take a step back and be like, we said we're gonna do this forever. We can't do this forever.
Right.
So
But
we're gonna
you
have to
know what
figure
I do
something out.
now? You know what I learned to do?
Yes, ma'am.
Shut up and let them go.
No, but that's
Shut
real.
up. And
Sometimes
then
you just gotta be quiet for real. And it's like, you
I
know
just shut
what?
up
You
and let them
on
go.
one
And
and let
then
you
I'd
do
be
what you need
like,
to do.
yeah. Then I'd be like, are you done now?
Oh
Trey
dang.
be doing that. Trey
Cause
be
Yeah,
doing
I
that.
do that
you know
though. I
what?
do that.
It's the are you
Because
done? Don't do that.
I
That's
do
real
that.
I mean,
patronizing. Don't be talking about are you done?
I mean, because it ain't no you yelling back and forth at each
Right.
other. Yeah, you don't really know what he's saying. He don't know what
You
you
can't even get a
saying,
good
and
run on your sentence.
So
You know?
somebody just got to shut up. And then I learned when you be quiet, if you be quiet, if he don't and you be quiet, then he calms down. Then you can sit and talk.
No,
But
sometimes they
going
start back
yelling
up
at
again.
back and forth, yeah, but at least okay, I done heard you out. Can you hear me out now?
Sometimes
Can
it
you
don't
hear
work
me
like
out?
that.
And if it don't, guess what? I leave it alone totally. I put
Oh
my
yeah, you better than me.
headphone.
I can't leave stuff alone.
But you have to grow into that. I was once where you at. I was once there, but you have to, in order to get ahead. Cause I don't stress. I mean, stress don't get along. That's my enemy. But
That's everybody
I put my headphones on, and if he don't want to shut up, I just put my headphones on because
Wow.
I'm at that point now. I don't
Nice.
and I won't
He
argue.
blended him out
I don't and
exquisitely.
I will not. I refuse to argue.
I mean, and I can see that. I can understand all of that.
See, but that's because Cookie's not a
But
tick tick boom.
But you have to
Listen,
grow
yeah,
into
that's
you
what
that
I'm
putting
saying.
headphones on while your man fussing and carrying on. You
Oh,
putting
I have
headphones on?
he don't.
That's
But
very
see, I
Wow,
have
You
that's
ain't
disrespectful.
gonna, you ain't
see.
gonna
crazy.
hear them
Very
do it.
disrespectful.
I wear my
That's very
headphones all the time.
disrespectful. All
No,
kind
I
of
wear it all
levels
the time, so he don't
of
know if it's on
disrespect.
or
I'm just
not.
saying.
He
Who
don't know if
wants to
it's
be
on or
around
Y'all
not.
have
that?
to know.
Well, he
Y'all
gonna
have
know
to
now,
know
Miss
her.
Cookie. He gonna
Yeah,
know now.
no, he can't hear
You're
me.
gonna learn
Nah, he
today.
heard
That's
you.
very
He said, "Oh,
He
that's
can't
what
hear
you
disrespectful.
me.
doing. That's what
He
you."
talking about he can't hear
Yeah,
her, but he right there. He right
but
That's
I'm
very
in
there.
the back. No,
disrespectful.
I'm in the back. He in the
You can't just be
front.
putting your
He
headphones
can't
all
Well,
the
you
hear
time.
me.
on
Have
YouTube
somebody
now,
talk to you.
friend. He gonna
He
know
Oh,
You're just
watching.
now.
Look,
ignoring them.
look. He
he don't
watching
go
it
over
while
there,
she
so
in
I
the
ain't got to
back
worry
talking
about that.
about it. He like, "Oh,
You stupid.
Too funny.
But yeah,
Too
you
funny.
got to learn to
It be
do.
like
I
that.
mean, because you know what?
Let's go.
I get a
Something.
headache when I argue.
Talk,
When I realized,
talk
and
about it.
when it was stressing me out so bad, and I went to the doctor, and the doctor said,
Mhm.
"You stressed out." I said, "No, I'm not." He said, "Yes, you are. A lot of people stressed out. Don't even know it." He said, "Do you know stress is a slow walk to your grave?" And I was like, "Okay." So I'm not arguing no more. And you got to figure out a way not to argue because it's not healthy for you or him.
Right.
Or
And then
him.
too, I think, you know, sometimes you have to pick your battles. Like, really, is this worth, you know, a conversation? Like, or I mean, is it worth an argument? So again, it goes back to
I
knowing
don't
how
want to
to.
argue.
I
mean,
really
yeah,
don't. But
We
I'm
can
gonna tell
have
you something else.
disagreements.
That
I don't want to be
a
arguing no more, man.
disagreement,
Like we
man, that
been,
argument stuff is so exhausting.
it
I've been
is.
there.
But I'm gonna tell you
Mm-mm.
something else too, though. But when I started doing that, then and stopped arguing, then I have to hear, you don't love me like you used to. You don't care like you used to. No, I just don't want to argue no more. You know, you ain't gonna give me no heart attack or stroke arguing with you like this. So
Mm.
I just I got to do something else other than to argue because you can't argue by yourself. So if the situation is not that serious to me, I'm not gonna argue about it. I'm still
I
not gonna
hate
argue
how
about it,
that's
even if
true.
it is.
Sometimes when I want to
Yeah,
argue, I don't want
I'm
nobody
not
to
gonna
get
argue.
quiet.
And yeah, and that's the problem. You
What
tune. Yeah.
avoiding a
Did you hear? He said
conversation?
when he wants to argue. I mean, I just
Yeah,
want
I
y'all
heard that.
caught that. Okay. But yeah, no, it's just I wouldn't necessarily say wanting to argue, but you know, you just want to make your point, or you
Right.
want somebody to understand how you're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, that's
a
a
lot
part
of
of
that,
effective communication.
that's
You
what I'm gonna
just
say. A lot
need.
of that comes with the
Yeah.
emotion. Like sometimes you just got to remove the emotions from the conversation
Right.
I don't
to,
know.
yeah, to be able to be
Who said
like,
I
if
don't know?
I did.
Dion,
Oh
but
my
I'm
God.
saying remove the emotion from the conversation, because okay, this is my spouse, this is my mate, and they're complaining to me about something that I did. So now it's like, you know, all of these emotions start to come up. Like, oh, you know, are you so upset with me? Do you love me anymore? Or, you know, do you know, still want to be with me? Like, depending on how deep the conversation goes, right? So if you remove the emotion from it and you're just like really trying to take the time to hear what they're saying, then I think you can have more of a healthy, effective communication, and then put your empathy and feelings back in place to convey to them and to what's the word I'm looking for? Comfort them. Then you get, you know, something a little bit a better result.
I have a question. Would I be correct to say that you also mean, or could be also meaning have an emotional response? Because I feel like having your emotions in there is gonna be there, but to emotionally respond in a disagreement is something that you want to try to avoid.
Right. So you remove the emotions from the situation, and so you can hear them, because you want to take the situation serious anyway. If they're coming to you, you want to take what they're saying serious. So you're moving your emotions to what could be negative emotions, and taking time to hear your spouse,
Right, because you're not
your
gonna want to
partner.
hear what's being said if you already is. Because
Your
I
defense.
know for me, when I'm upset with Portia, I mean, boom, yeah, I just don't even want her to talk to me anymore, especially because nothing's gonna make sense at that point. She's just like, give me a second, let me read. And she's steady trying to like rush. That's one thing I really don't like, being this rush to do stuff, especially when I have a plan in place. And then next thing you know, too much, and then we're trying to both strike out points. If somebody hits a nerve, now they're not gonna want to hear that other point for the rest of the time. So you got deep dig inside of you, deep inside of you, and say, I'm gonna just let her go. In the
Or just
meantime,
even the criticism, you know, like you got to remove your emotions from the constructive criticism, because then it's like,
yeah, because
wait,
you want
you
to say,
feel like this about me? You supposed to love me. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And you feel this way about me? Like, no, you still supposed to be able to take constructive criticism from your spouse, you know,
right,
and like I said, and then place the emotion back in it, like, you know what? He or she loved me enough to tell me when I'm wrong, or to like let me know where I'm messing up, or when I'm dropping the ball or whatever. Then that's when you put your
Because
emotions
then
back
they'll care. Yeah.
to the ball.
And that'll make you care, because check this out. I don't know if you know this, but Boom did this to me before when I used to smoke a lot. She said, "Oh, you smoking like a crackhead."
Not a crackhead.
I cold turkey stopped smoking, period. It was over. You never gonna do that ever to me in your life. Like, that was so disrespectful.
Oh my
I took the
God.
criticism to help me just go, yeah. You probably remember the time I said that. I said I ain't smoking no. That was like years. Like, just that quick, throw stuff out the window. Because sometimes you gotta care that much about what your spouse is saying for communication to be effective. You don't care about what your spouse has to say. Communication is not gonna be effective at all. So. But I'm gonna get ready. I want to thank everybody for being on here today. Thank you so much for popping in, Dion.
Yeah, that was
Thank you for having me.
GMT, I appreciate letting us borrow you for the show today. He should have popped on. Mr. Ruffles, you had some good insights. Cookie, you're here somewhere. And Boom, thank you so much. And I definitely want to do this for you leading out.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Thanks y'all for joining in and making this such a great birthday for us. Like, comment, subscribe. If you wanted to send some birthday love, her stuff is in the description as well. Cash App seems to be a thing now. Thank you guys for tuning in, and always we're gonna drop one as much as we can. Let us know what topics you want us to go over. We'll talk about it, and we'll try to be fair. Till next time, peace.